works out.
Oh shit, we're live. We're actually live now.
Yeah, that was the first thing that everybody would have heard.
Well, it's honest.
Let me pull it up on my YouTube and see. So, yeah, because I'm I don't know how to see.
Yep, it's live. I got it on here.
Okay. Yeah, everybody, if anybody's viewing right now,
where are the comments?
Yeah,
3 people are
just
watching.
give us a second. But is that us, the 3 people watching?
Probably.
Why can't I see anyone's comments on the live? People should be able to comment on it. Why can't I comment on it? That's not good.
I know. Oh, Amanda says, hello. Is our sound okay? If everybody if anybody can hear us, let us know if there's any problem with our sound so we can get that out of the way and fix that. Hello.
Hi, Sadie. Where are you seeing that?
Oh my gosh, Amanda. You're on your iPad.
Oh shit, yeah.
We can curse, right? Everybody here is fine with that. Sarah, can you see the chat?
Yes, but you can't comment in it. So
yeah, we can't comment from YouTube. That's
and I should get out of our other account.
I can post on it. Hello, everyone. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, the sound is good. Thank you.
Account.
Yes. I can post on it. I can comment in it. But I can comment it in my StreamYard.
Yeah, we can't.
Okay. Well, that's fine. All right, should we get started? Sound is good. That's the biggest thing. I can see the chat. Amanda, you will probably have to watch. You got it?
I got it. Just make sure you can't hear my resonance or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well, again, if you need to just watch the YouTube on your phone, I think that would work too.
I tried that, but I couldn't see anything. But I don't think there's any feedback at the moment. So
okay, good. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Poppy War live show. I am so excited to talk about this book. I have been waiting for this moment. So we are going to start off with a question. So if you are watching on your computer, oops, I have to present with Slido. Bear with me. I'm so sorry. If you are on your computer, take out your phone and you can participate in a poll where you tell us your current read. Is that coming up?
Yep.
I guess mine's really delayed. Why isn't this letting me ask the question though? Present with Slido.
It's there.
I'm sorry. Give me a second, friends. This is our first time on YouTube, obviously.
This is our second time and first time still doing everything.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of a shit show. I'm so sorry.
Thank you to alcohol.
Yes.
Sponsored by alcohol.
All right, next time. Okay. Oh, thank the gods. Okay, so if you scan this QR code on your camera app, just your regular camera app, it will bring you to this poll. And we want to know, what is your current read? What are you currently reading right now? Drop that in there.
Slido.com.
Or you can go to Slido.com.
Put in that code there.
Oh my God, Red Thistle, thank you. This is my pride and joy, my Appa poster.
What's Appa?
Appa's from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's the big fluffy bison that he rides on, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I pointed behind me like there was something.
I was like, what does Appa have to do with the moon cycle?
No, I know. That's my new tapestry. I just got that 2 days ago. But Appa has been here. Okay. House of Hollow. Oh my gosh, that's a new release, right? That is a new release. I saw people doing promo for that on TikTok a while ago. Yes. Ooh, I haven't heard of that. So, let me ask you all. Sarah, what is your current read or what is, oh wait, you said you're not reading anything.
Well, no, technically I still have Rule of Wolves. This is the longest it's ever taken me to read a book, and I don't know how long because it's been a month.
Yeah.
Is it because are you liking it?
I like it a lot. It's just because I was moving, because then I was in this weird slump, and because Crown of Gilded Bones happened, and then Poppy War happened, and then it was just like, then the vaccine happened, and so like I couldn't finish. I didn't want to finish it when I had a migraine.
No,
Yeah.
that's definitely one that you want.
I have 2 hours left. I want to be in the right space, and so I'm looking forward to eventually finishing it.
Good.
Oh, someone's reading The Gilded Wolf, Sarah. And
Why
The
would they
Memory
know
of
that?
Babel. I love The Memory of Babel. That's such a good read.
Gilded Wolves. Why would I know that?
I'm saying someone else is reading it.
I've never read
Slido.
I've read it. I've read The Gilded Wolves.
Oh, sorry, that's not the.
I really like The Gilded Wolves, honestly.
I was
That
like,
was one of is The Memory of Babel, is that the third?
That's Crystal Dabos.
Okay, yeah. I need to read. I still need to read that one. That one's the second one or the third one?
I think it's the second one, to be honest.
The second one?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're gonna do a read in September about it, right?
Yes.
The fourth one, definitely. I'm holding out until then.
Me too. I think that one comes out in October or September. So if nobody here has read A Winter's Promise yet, we will be reading it.
I'm invested
We are?
because
That's news
I
to me.
want the whole hardback covers, and I literally shipped Winter's Promise from America. I shipped that from America because I was literally like, I need to have all the hardcovers.
They're absolutely
stunning. I'm invested, and they are literally stunning.
So Sarah,
Republic.
we're probably gonna do like one of the like a mini buddy read for A Winter's Promise. I don't think that'll be like our main buddy read, but that's just gonna be a thing. Dragon Republic,
unofficial.
Yeah, unofficial official buddy read. The Dragon Republic. I want to pick that up now, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off for the 24-hour readathon. So glad that people are continuing on with the series. All right. If you haven't told us what you're reading, if you can't get on the Slido, also you can post it in the chat box. No big deal. Amanda, what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading Harry Potter because I just finished Puppy War today. So it was heavy as shit. So I needed something light like Harry Potter to get me through it.
Yeah, I still cannot believe that you guys finished that book today.
I know. Lastminute.com. That's how I work. It gets me like the pressure. With school, I do everything the last minute. I am so opposite. Under pressure.
I did tell Amanda not to bother reading the 3 other books she read this week.
Oh, yeah. I read 3 books. Oh, no, I read 4 books because I also finished, what's it called? Grishaverse. I also finished the first book of that. So I read 4 books in 3 days and it was intense. Yeah. Yes.
See, I just can't do that. I don't know. I'm not a binge reader. I respect it. And that's why I didn't want to be like, hey, Sarah, Amanda, maybe don't read The Poppy War on the last day. Because fuck if I know. I don't know how binge readers work.
Me next time. Warn me.
Well, we're going to do it for the Dragon Republic.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, someone said they're reading Great Expectations, boop, over the YouTube comments.
Oh, my gosh.
Good one. That's a good one. I liked Great Expectations. Kingdom of Copper.
Kingdom of Copper slaps. Amazing. I need to read the last book, Empire of Gold.
Someone said they're honestly still reading The Poppy War. I just got it in the mail yesterday. We understand.
Well, I hope we don't
finished
ruin
it today.
We will be talking spoilers, but I'm sure you already know that. And I'm glad you're here, even though you just started reading it. You're in for a ride.
I have a question. Is City of Brass a lot like Poppy War?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to know before I started whenever I get to it.
Sarah, I will say I don't like now knowing your taste a little bit better. I don't know if you'll like City of Brass.
We'll find out.
I know
it's very
Sarah's
slow.
Face.
What's up?
I can do slow.
Sarah, you're gonna bitch. You're so gonna bitch.
It's
I
very.
can see it.
It's heavy politics, heavy world building.
I was
kind of info dumpy.
Somebody about how I read all of the Wicked books, like the ones like the musicals based off of.
Oh my God, Holly Lambert just finished Poppy War an hour ago.
Champion,
girl,
Holly.
After my own heart, girl.
I can't. It took me days to process this book, and I still have not done processing it. So this is going to be interesting.
I have not digested it at all whatsoever. I finished it hours ago.
But I feel like what's up?
Come on.
Yeah, we got this. Okay.
Speaking of
All
moving
right.
on, should we move on?
Yeah, we're moving on. Sorry, we get so carried away. I just get excited. Okay, so we have another slide. So you're in the app. What did you rate the Poppy War? I'm dying to know. I know
You
what I
can
rated it.
also answer it on the YouTube comments because we'll all also be reading them.
Yes. Maddie
Maddie
literally finished at
Boucher.
3:00. Oh my God, guys.
Last
Kate,
minute.
I want to mention that
2 stars?
Was that Sarah?
Kate just
Did
said that
you,
she's trying to
Sarah,
read
did you
Wicked
just do
and
the Slido?
No, I did not.
Ah,
I was just
someone
talking. You saw me
else.
talking. Can I go through my comment now?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So Kate just said I keep trying to read Wicked and just can't get into it. I will say this. I read that over 10 years ago at this point. So I don't remember it. So if I don't take it as a recommendation from me, just know I got through them all.
I have never read Wicked, so I cannot speak to that. Or I've never seen the play, so I don't know.
Oh, the musical's so good.
I should watch it. Maybe we can watch it together, like have a movie night.
I don't think there's a movie.
Oh,
Wicked
yeah,
is a Broadway show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like they have Hamilton. Now you can like watch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have it recorded?
Yeah,
Okay.
Disney Plus.
Okay, so we do hope we didn't mean to call you out like that. If you're the person that said the 2-star, it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
It's just Sarah was saying how kind of.
We'll get to
Sarah,
it. Yeah. I'm glad to see that most people are. Yes, spoiler alert. No, I'm interested to see everybody's thoughts. So we will get into what we thought. So if you haven't put your rating yet, again, 4.5 stars. That's fair. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I rounded down for sure.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll get into our thoughts. Do we want to keep the slide up or should we put the slide down when we talk about our thoughts?
I think we should go on to the next.
Go on.
We're going to talk about our thoughts.
Yeah, let's talk about our thoughts and then we'll move on to the next question as like a kind of way to break it up. So should we keep the slide up or should we put the slide down?
Keep it down because remember.
Yeah.
They're still voting, are they?
We'll wait a minute.
We can start going into it, though.
Okay, we'll start going into it. Sorry, we are all over the place in case you haven't noticed. Amanda, I'm going to call you out first. I'm going to ask you, and if you like give your brief thoughts. What did you think about the book? What did you rate the book?
I haven't pressed. It's probably going to be a 5-star read for me. I don't know. It's just.
What was that?
It's so intense. That's her. Yes. It was. The thing is, it's one of those books that like stretched my viewpoint and made me really think. It was really intense. So fucking intense, dude. But yeah, just because of that, the fact that it really genuinely made me think outside my box, I'm going to give it a 5-star.
I agree. Okay, I'm glad. I wasn't sure if you were like between a 4 or a 5.
I'm leaning. I'm not 100% a 5 though. Gotta be honest. I'm just like a 4 or 5. I'll have to read the next 2 books to know where this one lands. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. It has to be put into context.
Yeah.
No, you rate a series as a whole, but you have individual books of it, not based off the context of the next ones.
I want to see how she progresses with it. I do.
But then you rate those books according to how those books progress.
Oh, that's just how I work. I need to know context.
I feel like I changed my mind too. Like I have to step away. It's hard to rate a book right after I read it. There you go.
That's okay. That is what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
I don't actually know what my rating is. That's probably why I was saying I need to read the next books. I just need to digest it, to be completely honest, until I have a firm rating. But it's between 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah,
so it's a high rating. That's what I'm saying.
But why?
I have a high rating for it.
Oh, you
loved
said
it
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I rated it 5 stars, and like it was probably one of the easiest 5 stars I've ever given, because just the whole time, like from beginning to end, I was like, this is amazing. It's going to be one of my new favorite books. I could not get enough of it. I loved everything about it, the characters, the setting, the world building. And like Amanda said, it made me think like the entire time. I was just like, wow. brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So for me, I'm very biased. 5 out of 5 stars, easy. But I know that Sarah.
I'm so
has a
ready.
different
Now
opinion.
we're time.
She's so
for
ready.
Sarah.
Go ahead, Sarah. Take the floor.
In case anybody was wondering, it's a 2 for me. I appreciated what it was doing. That's why it wasn't a 1. Like there were parts that I did enjoy. I could think of 3 only. The biggest problem I had with this book was the fact that it was fantasy. The fantasy portion, if you took the fantasy out of this, it would have made all of the historical parts, all of the political parts, all of the war parts just so much more valuable and important. This fantasy detracts from all of that.
I disagree, but I get it.
But my point is, and I know you both haven't read it yet, but I know you both will because I keep talking about it. If you took the fantasy out of this book, you would have had the Nightingale again.
Of course.
It always comes back to the Nightingale.
Yeah.
As it should, because the Nightingale is a great book you have to read. But,
I'm really excited. I will read it.
In Sarah's month, I will read it for you.
Yes.
Spoiler for May now. To me, that was the biggest part. And then the other parts that was like the biggest part because like I'm like ready to see what's Rin gonna do next, right? And like that was the fantasy part, but like that all like kind of detracted from what was really happening in the historical and environmental context. But then the other part too that I hated was that every time you got momentum, it just ended. It was very much like info dump. Maybe there's a scene that I got invested in. Info dump right after that. And then another info dump. And then there's a new history. And then there's a new place where she is with another new history. And then I'm going here and I have to hear more history. And I love history. But but like you can't. It just every time I got invested, it just it stopped.
Yeah, I can see how there would be, I've heard that critique before, like issues with the pacing, because it was either, like you said, very world building about the history, about the background, and then it would be like an intense, crazy battle scene or like action scene. So I totally get that.
I like that
part doesn't bother me. You know that part doesn't bother me.
No, yeah. But those are the parts that you wanted.
It was but like even like with all, it was like multiple times about the history, and some of it like I grew to appreciate, right? Like because like how they were showing how history is written by the victors, and like how the story here changed so much. But the problem was more so that like I couldn't follow any of it. It was very difficult to follow, and I didn't know what was important and what wasn't. And so like it a lot of that I think could have been like distilled a little bit in the beginning, and then it just builds on top of each other.
Yeah.
To that point.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know I disagree, but I can see where you're coming from. I totally see where you're coming from.
I just thought it was action-packed, scene after scene after scene, history after history after history. I thought she didn't have a break. She didn't catch a break for a single second. I don't understand your thing about the momentum, because I thought the momentum was like unstoppable moving forward.
But at some point, but it was like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. There was no progression between this happening.
It was literally war, and it was like she has no time to process, no time to think. She's thrown in, and that's what war is. She just has to literally go on to the next thing and next thing.
That's not the part I'm complaining about. It was just like, it was like the way it was written. It was very, on top of the fact that it was very YA in my opinion. Not in terms of matter of context, but in the storyline itself. It was
YA.
I'm not saying the context of it. Okay, I'm saying the way the storyline is written, it was YA. You and I, Amanda, were talking about the entire time, and all of our predictions were right.
True, but that's because those predictions were pretty obvious.
And that's like that's YA.
Yeah, but good predictions means there's good groundwork for it to be believable. That doesn't having a good prediction doesn't necessarily mean the book is bad. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
I'm not saying that was bad about it. I'm just saying that like that's what you see a lot happen in YA books is and this happened and then this happened and it was literally just a sentence telling us what happened. It wasn't a progression of what happened.
What would a progression of what happened have looked like?
Like I don't see the scenes playing out. I don't see any of this. I feel there was no dialogue really in this book. I don't know if you noticed that.
I want to pose this to the chat too. So what do you all think? What are your thoughts in the
I'm
chat?
surprised nobody's ripping into me right now.
I see it. So it's very divided right now. I think there's people who rated it 1 and 2 stars, and then there's people who rated it 4 and 5 stars. So it's very interesting. And if you also rated it 2 or 1 stars, please put your thoughts in the chat because
we want to know.
Yeah, I genuinely want to know.
It's not an uncommon thought I think you have with this book to rate it low.
Yeah,
I think it's because you misunderstand, but that's just me.
These are these really delayed for me?
I really like the pacing of the book. I thought the pacing was fucking great.
I can see what she means about is feeling YA, the way the characters reacted to things, particularly Rin did feel YA to me as well some of the time.
I do agree with some of the things that you're saying about it feeling a little YA. Don't forget the characters are very young in the book, and it is a school setting. And I think that's what
it's not a school setting the entire time.
No, not the whole time.
Half of the book, like a good chunk of the book.
A good chunk of the book.
By the end of the book, wasn't she 20?
Yeah, 19.
She's 19. She's
okay,
19.
So she's
but
a
she started. No, I'm 20. She started at. Don't make it sound young. She started at 15.
Yeah, I think personally,
appreciate the decisions that she made because she was that young. Doesn't mean that the way that she had to be written was young.
I think that R.F. Kuang did that on purpose, and I think I remember reading it in an interview is that she wanted to show the fact that Rin, like these characters are children, and this was the reality of the war at that time was that, you were 16, 17, 18. You were thrown into the war.
Deal with that as a child. That's
okay. I will amend my statement. I think this book could be at least 200 pages shorter, and it would have been phenomenal.
What would you cut, Sarah?
I would cut out the entire school scene. That was a chapter.
I love that school scene. That was honestly my favorite part of the book. Not gonna lie.
The other
parts were so fucking heavy.
I would merge actually the school scene with the God scene, and I think that would be part 1, and then part 2 would be the rest of it.
Okay, I do agree.
They cut the training part too short, and it could be a whole book itself, but it was still so good. Same. I actually really, really, really enjoyed the training section. That was like my favorite part of the book, and that was my expected reading of that book. The turn it took after that was the turn that like blew my fucking mind open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That setting was very safe for like books I read, what I expect from books and everything. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And then here's a good point. We haven't talked about character development.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. I just want to highlight some more of these comments that people are saying.
Can I highlight this one?
Which
Bridget
one?
Palmer Rosetta. That one's so good.
Wait, which one?
Bridget Palmer Rosetta.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, okay. Bridget, I totally agree.
I totally felt that.
I could see how like that could be misconstrued as like, bad writing, but I do think that it was quite realistic. Whether or not that was her intention to like throw you into different situations right away, like one right after another, for me, it worked.
It worked so well because then you got that hurry, like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? Everything is changing around me all the time.
No, it didn't because it went into another fucking monologue about the history.
I think that's what R.F. Kuang's thing. I mean, she has multiple degrees in history.
The history bit was so good.
Is it because you guys don't actually read historical fiction as much as I do that you feel this way?
I
don't know.
Some historical fiction. It's definitely not but I would classify like City of Brass is quite historical fiction-y. Like most of my favorite fantasy is based on real historical events. So it's not that I don't specifically read historical fiction, But I appreciate that about the book. I also have never really read a book.
Military training, like the way she did historical fiction, really interesting. Not just normal. Like the way she did the military training was my favorite bit. I had never seen a book talk about it like that, and I was literally interested in learning shit.
Sorry,
no,
I'm just
I agree with that.
rapid fire highlighting comments, but I also agree that I would like a whole book set in the school
That
setting.
would have been perfect for me.
That's very personal opinion for me because I so enjoy school settings in books. Like I genuinely love
And
school
that
settings.
one was really good. That one was a good one. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm old now. I don't want a school setting.
Oh yeah. I know.
Meanwhile, right now I'm obsessed with Zodiac Academy, so I don't know if that says anything about me.
I just genuinely, I think some people in the Discord, we were talking about this, but it reminded me personally a lot of Name of the Wind. And Name of the Wind is my favorite book ever. This gives it a run for its money, I'm going to be honest. But I just really enjoy school settings in general.
So are you saying now I'm not going to like Name of the Wind?
Oh, no. Sadie, shut up. You have to read it. I'm serious. Sarah, when it's my fucking birthday, I'm gonna force you to read that. I'm serious.
I will read it.
You have to read it.
I had it on my borrow list from.
It's high fantasy. It doesn't have the historical. You'll like it. You will. Okay.
Yeah, you will like it. You will.
Don't come into it biased, like please.
I'm not saying anything about it, but again, everybody in the chat just.
I see that.
Fantastic.
I see the resemblance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I would be attacking me.
No. I like I said, I love that you have a different opinion. If you didn't, this would not be
interesting.
It's way more interesting to talk about it when people have different opinions. And I totally see where you're coming from. I disagree, but I totally see it. Yeah.
You hate books in such an interesting way.
Wait, okay, you want to talk about when we love it when I hate books? I actually, what did I have to, I think I sent a message to somebody this morning. I said to somebody that I thought that, and I did say this, I thought that there was a little bit more originality in These Violent Delights than this book.
No, These Violent Delights did some interesting things.
It didn't do anything.
Sarah. These Violent Delights do not hold a candle to this book. No.
Oh, it's totally different.
I know, because I rated 0 stars to These Violent Delights.
I know, but like, no.
That's so funny. Also, yes, I don't know if I agree with this, but yes, Rin and Quoth have a lot of similarities. Just gonna put that out there. Again, I don't want to go too much into Name of the Wind because I don't want Sarah hasn't read it.
There's no way to not spoil it if you don't go into it. Yeah.
Yeah. All you need to know is it is a school setting for the most part, and Quoth is a character. People either love him or hate him.
Yeah, and you see him growing up, so it's not stuck in school for them. You know what I mean?
Same thing as Rin.
Like a Victor and Eli thing.
What's up?
What?
Is it like a Victor and Eli thing?
No, I wouldn't say no.
Oh, okay.
But if you,
that would have gotten me excited.
Oh, I know. Do we want to talk about the characters now? Let's see.
Yeah,
so we have another interactive question. I accidentally put the Slido away. So sorry.
Guys,
so let's get
I'm nearly finished
with that awful drink.
I know I'm about to open my other one.
Oh yeah, we didn't say what our drinks were. So what did
okay.
Amanda, putting you on the spot? What did you drink? What are you drinking?
Guys. So for my American people, I don't know if you know this drink, but I am drinking the fucking weirdest, disgustingest. It tastes good though, drink ever. It's just fucking weird. So I had to scrape what I had in my house to make this drink. It's Archer's, which is like a mixer with innocent smoothie in it. Yes, that sounds fucking disgusting, looks disgusting, but it tastes good and it gets me drunk. So it does the job.
You great reviews.
As long as it gets the job done, that's all we care about.
It's honestly like scraping at the back of your cupboard for something to eat, that kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't. think they
Sarah.
can we drink.
Sarah, tell us
I
your drink.
got the 90-minute IPA.
Ooh.
It's good.
I do not
It's
like IPA.
I'm not surprised
like
to hear
beer.
that from you. Not gonna lie. But it's actually like a I don't know how to describe it. It is like a heavier, like it's not heavier, but almost like if you took like a nicer lager and mixed it in with the IPA. That's kind of what it tastes like.
Post synagogue battle.
Sarah, I just want to comment on that. I think I would like that because if you said lager, I do like lager.
What's lager?
It's like
Are you talking about wood?
It's like a type of Amanda. It's
What,
a type of beer.
Lager? Like someone
It's
who
a type
cuts
of
down
beer.
wood?
Someone please help this girl. But I want to spotlight my
Wait, you mean
drink.
lager?
Yes.
Lager?
I'm
American
drinking
accents.
I'm drinking a green tea drink, so that's why I'm really hyper right now, and my heartbeat is severely elevated. It's green tea. My boyfriend made it for me. It's green tea, lemon, gin, simple syrup, and a lemon slice. And it's actually, this is the first time we made it. I highly recommend. I will drop the recipe in our Discord if you want it. Just wanted to shout that out. I prepared for this. Though. I went to the store right before.
Are you prepared enough to go say everybody's names here?
No.
Oh, guys, fair warning. We do not know Chinese, therefore we most likely will be butchering these names. Apologies in advance. Apologies in advance.
No disrespect. Like
yeah.
we have looked up pronunciations. I have listened to the Google Translate, so we are really trying our best. I'm sure you understand. All right. Favorite characters. First of all, the first one was Jiang, who from the beginning of the book, as soon as we met him, he was my favorite at the start.
He was the crazy kooky teacher. I love those stereotypes. The crazy kooky teacher that mentors you.
Yes. Okay, Amanda, that's what I was going to say earlier, and I stopped myself.
Avatar. Do you remember the? Yes.
Yes. No spoilers.
I hope people know what we're talking about, but yeah, that reminded me.
And if you read Name of the Wind, just you also know. But yes, Jiang, amazing. So Naya, Sarah, how we were literally listening to this. Naja.
It was like Naja.
Naja, yes. Okay. So kind of surprised that so many people say that's their favorite character. Not that I don't like Naja, but
it's still surprising that it's so
he had real dimension, unlike any of the other characters. They all were one-sided.
I'm really interested to see where it goes with him. That's my thing.
Yes.
Also, I have to say, I don't know how to pronounce this, but Kite was definitely my favorite. I loved him.
Yes, he was precious. Yeah. So, okay. So Amanda, he was your favorite throughout the whole book, or did it change?
Probably throughout the whole book. Yeah, I wasn't like, he was just cute, special, like, hold a place in your heart. And when you wrote in the Discord what the author wrote about him, that made it even better. Just even better.
So if nobody saw that, Kite or Kuta, however that is said, because we couldn't find a Google Translate for that, R.F. Kuang has actually said that he is asexual and aromantic. And I have never read that representation in a book before. So I really appreciated that she had,
Victor. He was based in Zhu and Lei, the leader
I didn't know
of
that.
The communist movement.
Interesting. Wait, first of all, Sarah, I didn't know that Victor was ace.
But it was the same thing. It was V. Schwab made a comment about it later on. It wasn't supposed to be apparent. Neither just the same way that this character wasn't supposed to be apparent. And also, why does it matter? He does. It's not like he's supposed to have. That's not.
I know, but it makes it sweeter.
Sexuality.
I know, but it makes their relationship sweeter because he was like not coming onto her.
Why? Why? And Sadie and I talk about this all the time. Why do we have to have people get in sexual relationships? Why can't we have a friendship between genders?
Yes, and
that is why.
Yeah. Hit the nail on the head, Sarah. Yeah, that's exactly why. See, I don't know if you. Yeah, as an ace person myself, it always makes me so happy to have that representation. I myself am not ace, but it is so important to see that representation. in books, and not it as like a major plot point, but just like a character who is Ace. And
he
I just thought that was
is.
really beautiful. It made his
Yeah.
relationship with Rin to
So
me
much
that much more
sweeter.
important. Yeah. I agree. I liked
But
that.
Alton, people
Alton.
said,
Oh my man. I will say, I'll let Sarah go. So you didn't have a favorite character, correct? Or did you?
So I did not, because I think the point of this book is to not like anybody.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
enough.
If I have to pick the scenes that I think captured me the most, where I felt like I wasn't reading a textbook, it was the ones where, like, because like that was where it felt like the most chemistry was, and I felt there was most interactions and character development was with Naja.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I really liked him too. I will say my favorite character definitely changed throughout the book. I like Jiang in the beginning just because I love the trope of like the mad professor kind of. And then towards the middle, I liked Naja and Alton. And then at the end, I was like Rin Stan all the way. This is one of the most complex and interesting characters I've ever read about. So obviously I disagree with that. Rin is one-sided. She is very interesting.
Multifaceted, complex.
Yes.
Stan. Well, we don't stand her because
She wasn't complex.
she ends up a dictator, so
she only had one fucking track of thought. She was not not dimensional.
I don't know though.
She was. She literally went from like chasing.
Played like she was.
I hated Alton the most, probably. I definitely think that's why I like appreciate him.
Alton was just a tragedy for me. Like
he was a tragic storyline. And I think that there's definitely a difference in my mind between favorite character and characters that I like love. Like I loved Kite. I liked Rin as a character. Did I love her?
I see. Yeah.
So I
loved her as a character too. I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people might find this funny though, because like now that I think more about it, like Naja actually reminds me, like I'm like, if you just put a tail on him, he's Cardin.
Don't say that kind of thing.
No, I totally see where you're coming from though. I totally see that. Oh my, and he does get a redemption arc just like Cardin. Cardin, did he deserve a redemption arc? I don't know.
Cardin didn't need to actually be a character. Let's be real.
He's the cruel prince, Sarah.
This kind of the book is based around him.
No, I do like
he had zero personality too.
I know. Well, that's because Holly Black's just not a good writer.
I fucking loved how she like did the character arc for Naja, and I think it's just gonna improve.
I think
the character arc was so good. Like, that's really actually good.
I think that's a good point because like his character arc, if you think about it, he progressively got better. Whereas like as a person kind of thinking, whereas everybody got progressively worse. And so you kind of had that like weird dichotomy happening.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's so true.
Which one?
Highlight, someone said, El Moon said, the relationship between Zhang and Rin reminded me so much of Karate Kid. Couldn't get that out of my head. And
oh my god,
same. Yes.
Wait, I did. I said it was Haymitch and Mr. Miyagi put together.
Yes. You sent that to me, yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know what Karate Kid is.
What?
Yeah.
Don't roast me.
Wash off.
What, Sarah? Sorry.
Wash on, wash off.
No. Oh yeah. Do you remember?
I don't. Pop
Are you just saying
mystery?
Oh no, I'm saying wash on, wash off.
What are you watching? You have to like. There's a circular. What are you like? Thank you.
She's wiping.
Thank you for being here.
Oh my god. You guys need to send me a list of movies that I need to watch.
That's a classic. That's like the one you watch as a kid. You know what I mean?
The Princess Diaries. Cool. You could watch it as an adult with like 3 bottles of wine and your best friend, and you have a great night.
I literally make me a list. I will listen to them. Sorry about that car.
It is not a siren, Amanda, as you might have thought earlier.
Oh yeah, guys. Earlier I had a full meltdown when Sadie siren popped up, and I literally thought it was like a siren for like I don't fucking know, a bomb or some shit. I don't know where my head was at. I don't know what I thought. But yeah, I freaked the fuck out.
She literally started. She was like, "What was that? What was that?"
I freaked out.
It's the fact that I live in Philadelphia, and it's really loud here. Yeah. Okay. Wanted to highlight this. This book made me think about what it means to be a villain or a hero because every character seemed to flip-flop, and I loved that. Yes, because it wasn't villains and heroes in this book. Everybody
there were no heroes. I cannot pick out a single hero in this book.
Yes.
It was different shades of villains, basically. Yeah, but it was more complex than that, which I really liked.
It's about being human, not there. If you shouldn't bring hero and villain into this, there are none. And that's the point of history, is that history is written by the victors, and that's the whole metaphor for the book. And so if you say that one person is a villain and one person is a hero, you are writing the story for them. They are people. And they're allowed to change their opinions and allowed to change their stories as they go.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the story that I like so much and I think this was R.F. Kuang commenting on fantasy in general, because very often in fantasy you see heroes and villains. Not all the time, obviously. And now
pretty straightforward most of the time.
Yeah.
Like even in something complex, like what was it, the one with Vicious? I still think it was pretty clear cut, if you know what I mean. It was good. Vicious is good for what it's trying to do, and I think it nailed what it was trying to do, but I still think it doesn't quite reach the level of the Poppy War, where it's literally different shades. Like that's what I feel like.
But why do we have to sign the villain and the hero? Like that's
what we're saying. That's
you don't.
That's what you were
because
arguing
in an epic fantasy, you normally do. You know what I mean? That's how they structure it. That's how it is.
Yeah, you're fighting darkness.
Arc, or if the villain there has to be an anti-hero fighting against the villain. But this isn't like that at all.
I will say the best characters are always the villains, whether you're an actor playing them, they're always the most fun. They have the best costumes, they have everything. And somehow, even in all of their villainy in this book, quote unquote villainy, in their bad times.
Oh, it is villainy, yeah.
In their bad times in this book, they still had no dimension. Everybody was so flat.
I don't know if I don't know
how. So I can.
Ring didn't change at all.
She did. She went.
No, she didn't. She did the same. She chose the same outcome, and that was the point. She chose the same outcome from the first choice to the third time that she turned down Zhang. She turned him down 3 times. There is no character development there were 3 opportunities for him to take.
Yeah, but that's the point. She picked wrong every time.
Yeah.
She had the choice. That was the whole thing. She could have, but every single time she picked the wrong
thing. She never was going to think about it. That was the narration.
But she did think about it. She studied with John for years. She studied with him for 2 years. It seriously actually did it. The whole meditation route, the whole thing. But yeah, she chose wrong. That I think the author herself talks about this. She comes up to be a dictator. I think she did choose wrong.
No, she didn't choose wrong.
We're going to get to that. And I heard you say that before, and I was like, we're not talking about this because I really, really, really want to hear about that. But I just want to highlight some comments because I think people are saying some really interesting stuff. This is where I was coming from.
Ellen, sorry.
Hi, Ellen. Especially in YA fantasy, you typically get very clear protagonist is the hero and on the right side of the conflict. Yes, but it's not reflected in actual conflict. And I don't think I actually said this, but war.
I think all of us were looking at Jordan's comment and being
this is brilliant. This is sums up my thoughts perfectly.
I actually meant to message Jordan because she's my other history person. And
I literally.
What did you think about this? So if you're going to comment, Jordan, here, thank you.
Jordan, what did you rate it? I think we were talking about it in the Discord, so I think I know that you like it. So you don't have to assign a villain or hero, and that's why I liked the book because most fantasies are like this. Yes, okay, I'm glad that people are okay. Yeah. I agree. Everyone was flat. She chose anger and revenge the whole time. And I do.
People do agree with you. I get that, but
Yeah.
I also think she had the split path. I think it was very like she could have gone either way, and she went the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Jordan gave it a 4.5, but
4,
anyways.
4.5, okay. I do think Rin is one of the characters that had the least amount of development.
True. She's
No,
always
the only
angry.
one with
You know what I
character
mean? She
development.
was always trying to. She had that like frustration
Okay, I'll
with her.
give it. Sorry.
Go on.
No, that's okay.
Alton, he had a catalyst, so I will give that. But he was like that before.
I think Alton had a lot of, not necessarily character development, but we learned more about Alton.
It was really interesting learning about the different layers of him, because from the beginning I thought he was one thing, then it subverged into another, and at the end, his life, I thought I don't know if this is what we should talk about it now, but it was more like he committed suicide than martyrdom, in my opinion. Like, it was very much euthanasia. Like, that's what I felt like, assisted suicide. Because
if he did that, then why didn't he do it before?
Because he wanted his death to have meaning. He wanted to be a martyr. And again, if everybody's here, they have read the book, spoilers are happening.
Yeah.
Alton, he wanted to be a martyr. He wanted that epic death. And Sarah, I know that you're one of your least favorite tropes is unnecessary martyrdom. They acknowledged that. They said
I did call that out when I said, "Oh my God, here's my." I knew what you guys were thinking when I said it, and thank you for not saying when I told you. I was like, "Oh wow, they acknowledged it." What?
Yeah. So real. Like he was not made into Alton was not made into a hero. Everybody was kind of like, that was fucking stupid. You should not have done that.
Actually, that was his first moment of peace. That was actually the one clever thing he did in his life, because he finally let go. Alton never was
not clever.
A single moment
selfish.
in his life. Well, it was selfish choosing him instead of anger. Choosing
peace
instead of
not to help Rin forward. There was no reason for him to stay behind. There was no reason.
No, I think
stayed behind, and he could have held on to his anger for longer. He could have. He had been holding on to for his.
There was no reason for him
to
go in a blaze of glory.
No, but I think that there wasn't a reason, and that's why like it was acknowledged. And I just think that's one more complexity to add to his character. That again, he wasn't. It wasn't this blaze of
one thing he did for himself in this life.
Yeah, it was the one thing he did for himself in his life. He had to give his death meaning. Like Alton was slowly killing himself with, driving himself to work as hard as he did, his addiction to opium, and he saw
to praise and acceptance.
Yeah. And training. Yeah. His reason was he chose something for himself. Yeah.
He chose the opium though.
Oh, no, he
chose to escape. And the opium was the way that was fed to him and the way he knew how.
He chose the opium in the same way at this ending that Rin chose it.
I don't think you can choose to be addicted to drugs.
He was force-fed it, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you have to be, and I understand the complications of an addiction.
But you couldn't just stop. Like when you're addicted to opium, and he was for years and years and years and years.
As a child.
After that. Like that's literally developmentally changing his brain. There's no way he can just quit opium. Like
he's not going to rehab.
Yeah,
there's no
rehab in the middle of a fucking war.
Yeah, he did not have a choice in his opium addiction, and
he didn't have a choice in the addiction, but there is a choice still to stop.
I
disagree.
That's
the
whole
addiction is a choice.
Definition of addiction. That means you yourself have no control in stopping.
Yeah.
That it means you're addicted. You can't
and nobody tried to help him. Like they all acknowledged like the
I remember that part. Like that that I remember, and I thought that was pretty I forget the word, but I'm acknowledging what you're saying. But okay, continue on. I'm not gonna
brain is so Alton is definitely, I don't know, is he my favorite character? I literally can't pick a favorite character, but hold on.
I think it looks like you're holding a massive fan in front of yourself.
It's my new, well, it's not my new microphone, but it's a microphone. I hope my sound sounds good. Yeah, especially when their society has an extremely stigmatized opinion of opium users. There is no, that's an,
Was there a stigma? It was just her, it was just Rin. So like, this is my other question. This was one of those interesting third persons perspectives, but it was really Rin's perspective from third person. So what is that called?
Third person limited.
Limited, I think is the right.
Yeah.
That, so like it didn't come across as like there was a stigma necessarily. The stigma came from her growing up with it, and she was the one educating everybody about poppy.
I think the stigma was the powerlessness and the whole way that basically the opium wars, China lost its power through the weakness of the opium. So him taking it is a huge weakness, and that is stigmatized. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
If it was stigmatized that bad, then why would she take it in the end?
Because she needed it to get high to ascend to the gods.
Yeah.
No. She took it.
Oh, she also just killed like
but now she
a
is,
whole
now she's
nation.
Taking it.
She killed a whole fucking nation. She wanted to get high and escape, like,
which actually that's up for debate.
What?
Oh, yeah. This is the other interesting thing that Sarah said, and I was like, "Dude, I want to hear it in the live." Yeah.
Go on, Sarah. Go on.
Yeah, we'll get that's at the ending.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
One of the
Skipping
things
ahead.
that I really, really loved, and I wish I saw more of, because to me this felt then like it combined the historical side and like the more urban fantasy side of things that this kind of lived in, with the God side that it was trying to portray. So when they made that connection between her committing genocide, there was a volcano. When I saw that, like, there was a great plume of ash, I immediately thought a volcano. That volcano
was a volcano.
Existed. So it's questionable whether it was really her, because then it comes down to the drug usage, because that was my other problem with this magic system. And I understand, like, there's this whole shamanism that happens in North America and in the eastern side of Asia, where like you ingest these drugs and then you basically I think they trip out, and then they think that they have these visions of grandeur, right? And so
it's also a religious practice, like a straight
I'm not
up religious
discounting
practice.
it as a religious practice.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I don't fully believe in it,
Of
like
course, you can
in that kind of regard. So if you think about it, like, coincidentally, she could have gotten high, thought that she reached this God, and everybody's having the same vision, right?
And a collective hallucination. Yeah. No, I think that's really interesting. And once you said that, I think that adds like another layer.
And I wish they did more with that, because then the gods would have made sense.
I think they will in the next book. That's
I'm interested to see. That's I never thought of that. I always thought it was pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what they do with that. Yeah.
No, that was combining natural disasters. Actually, for a hot second, I thought that what happened there was also a corollary between Hiroshima.
I thought that when he said plume, the plume cloud, but then I realized it was a volcano. Yeah.
So true.
I mean, it's fantasy. Do the gods have to make sense?
Absolutely not.
It does not. It absolutely does not.
No, I do think the Phoenix caused the volcanic eruption through Rin, because
that's like, what I assumed when I read it. Like, that's but you 100% what I got.
Yeah, but you do. I mean, maybe that adds another layer that personally I like. Yeah, it's very interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So then it comes down to like the drug usage, right? Like, if, for example, there are kind of some kind of examples where like drugs do play a role and people see the same visions, right? Do you think of absinthe and everybody sees like the blue fairy or the green fairy? whichever one it was, right? You think of Woodstock, right? And it's like don't take like the brown acid or whatever, like the purple acid. Like there was some bad acid at like Woodstock, and everybody tripped the wrong way and saw the same bad things.
Yeah, it's totally
what happened, and everybody's seeing all these gods on these pedestals.
Well, it's
I
it's
get
a collective
that, but I also
hallucination.
think, yeah, it could
And
be
in
that.
that
But I also
collective
think it's the religion playing into the like history of China. I
Well,
think
that kind of touches on like the collectivism that Chinese spiritualism focuses on. Like it's a lot more of a collective kind of consciousness type thing. So there's definitely something to that. Like if you're all connected.
So is the Japanese.
Well, that's kind of religion, isn't it? Not to get too deep, but that's kind of religion. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think Christianity and Western religion focuses much more on the individual, whereas Eastern focuses much more on the collective.
And that's to do with society as well, because individually society versus
yeah.
That was one of the best quotes that I saw was when she was comparing the monotheism and how
I love that. That was so interesting.
You know that I'd have to go find it.
I don't know if anybody cares, but like I tried to find a tab in this book. It's not happening. It's not happening.
My problem is that I still can't turn my Wi-Fi on. Otherwise, my library books go away, so I can't find it as easily on my computer.
Oh, that sucks, Sarah. That's fucking
It's
awful.
clever, though. Sarah's onto something.
Yes.
I'm at mad genius level because Dad's going to his girlfriend's right now and is going to get back my old Kindle. And so
you can have two at once.
Well, I can have two just in case I run into this problem again, that where I have to read another book that isn't already on my Kindle. So that way I don't have to like be like I was before where I was reading Crown of Gilded Bones on my phone.
I just want to highlight this native U.S. religions excluded. Very good point. And my apologies for not
native
calling
U.S.
that out.
religions excluded?
With the collectivism and focusing much more on the individual.
Of course.
Yes, native. Yeah. Very good point. Thank you for calling that out.
Was it always like in the Native American ones? Like I'm not.
It is. It's very collective in Native American.
More focused on the collective.
Because like I remember looking up on my Kindle like shamanism because I wanted to like get the specific definition of it, and like the first thing it actually says is like North American and Eastern.
Shamanism is to do with the community though, because it's someone who transverses the gods to
but that's a different
as a spokesperson to the community.
Yes, but it's a different kind of community. Like she's talking about the communal, like how one person's not greater than the community, whereas I'm not sure if that's the case in Native American cultures.
No, I think I'm talking more of like, and it's really hard to put into words.
Just a community society. Like I don't understand how to say this, but like individualistic societies versus a community society.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Because like in Japanese cultures, like they don't think that it's a bad thing if they commit suicide, and it's because they think they're a burden on the collective.
Yeah, that's also in who watched Midsummer?
I watched Midsummer. You mean the creepy like?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything. Just saying.
Do you understand this?
I wish we had Becca in this call.
Seriously,
know more about this shit than we do.
Yes, but no, that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Thanks,
and I'm
Becca.
wording it poorly. Not collective as like, I don't know. I'm going to move on.
I understand what you're trying to say, but I also don't know how to say it.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I just lost so I wanted to focus on, we were talking about Alton. We need to talk about Spear and the island. And I want to know what people think of the island of Spear, and love you too, Becca. Thank you. What really happened is like how genuinely.
It's based on Taiwan, I think.
Yeah. But how was Spear actually, like, I'm very confused about that. Like, how was Mugen able to wipe out that island if they were so powerful? And I don't know if it goes into that in the book and I just missed it.
Because she refused to I forgot what her name was. The
Tirza.
Tirza refused the Phoenix God. Therefore, they were defenseless. That's what I think happened.
But that's
don't think
what.
that.
No, that was 100 years before Mugen wiped out the island.
He's asking how they were able to go in.
Yeah. So when Tirza sacrificed the island, that's when.
I thought that was.
How did I misread that?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that was 100. I thought that was at the end of the first Poppy War.
Are you serious? I thought that's. Oh yeah, because it's the Red Emperor. I misread that completely.
Yep. So then when the story is taking place, the Poppy War, 20 years prior to that is when Mugen wiped out Spear. 100 years or so before that is when they became subjugated by Nikon.
That's fucking crazy. I don't understand how I misread that.
Wait,
oh my
what?
God. I genuinely misread
No, there's the colonization.
That happened a long time ago.
Which was not when Tirza happened.
Yeah, that's when Tirza happened.
No, it's not.
I think it is. Now,
it is.
Remember,
happened at the end.
She fell in love with the Red Emperor, which is 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's the story. That's the story. Remember?
Chat, please help us out.
Yeah.
No, I know I'm right.
This is my point.
Because I do remember the Red Emperor.
This goes back to my point. All of it goes over your head.
Because you read it in one day.
No, it's not.
Girl, I literally haven't digested it.
I read it in 3.
I read it in 1.5.
No, it's a lot.
It's true. Like Sadie's actually right. I strictly remember Tirza being linked to the Red Emperor, and that is actually 100 years ago. Genuinely, like actually, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's crazy because I also thought that, Sarah. I genuinely also thought that was the reason Tirza got. If it's not that, then it was because. Yeah. If it's
Warriors
not that, I think they were weakened by the poppy addiction, the opium addiction, and then the government, the Chinese government, didn't protect them, or kind of sacrificed them willingly to the Japanese. I forgot what
Mugen.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Mugen. To the Mugen, so they were kind of left like an open, and no one came to their defense. I think that's what happened. But it's still very shrouded. I'm not 100% because they were like trained ass warriors. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But if the whole force of it descended upon them, then they would be overwhelmed. Because remember what they said. It's like 100 against 1 is still, 100 against 1.
That's my question.
If Spears Taiwan, then that's definitely or a Hong Kong corollary. That's the British.
No, it's actually Taiwan because Taiwan is an island.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it has to be all of Taiwan. It could be Hong Kong because Hong Kong became a British colony.
Yeah, but in the story, I get what you're saying. Okay.
You could combine it just because one has more influence over the other in similarity.
No, but I'm saying that Spear was based on Taiwan. Like the geography of it, you know what I mean? Like straight up, just the geography is more Taiwanese.
Guys. Anyway. So again, my question basically.
Don't mind us.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. The historical context is very important to this book. And so Spear was addicted to opium and therefore dependent on Nikon, but they were so powerful. They had this fire magic. They can call on the Phoenix. So how
they all went mad?
But that is something that everybody was taught to believe. But then don't forget that Rin sees the Spearlees people in that vision, and they were totally normal.
This is also why I hated this book.
They were vengeful. They were
vengeful, but they were powerful. And again, Nikon was kind of spinning this idea about the Spearlees that they're savage, that they're brutal, that they're stupid, they can't think. But then that's not true. Because that's a colonizer. Yeah, that's colonialism.
Yeah, straight up.
So, but the opium source made them more powerful. Oh, so did they cut off the opium source? So is that implicating Nikon even more? Because if they cut off the opium source
enough to be maybe.
It was a mixture of all three of the
I think Sarah's right. I think it was a mix.
mythologies that happened in this history, because as the first one, which was immediately like told was wrong, was that romance story. That was the first. That was like that is the initial histories written by the victors. Then the second one is, okay, this sounds a little bit more realistic. This isn't a children's story, which I don't remember the difference. Then the third one, which was at the end, that's more what happened.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I'm just reading some comments. I think I remember them mentioning that Spear was given opium to make them useless. Yeah,
but it also made them access their powers. Yes, they were addicted, but they could also access their powers.
They could access but they were accessing their powers in a different way. That's why they, like, when Rin went and went to like the apothecary version of it, like, and she could, like, he told her she could pick whatever she wanted as her equipment.
It could be more powerful drugs than they were used to. Yeah.
Ellen Moons, yeah, I feel you, girl.
It's mad confused. But the thing is, it's confusing because it's not clear. It's confusing because it's a mystery. Yeah.
I don't think it's confusing because it's not clear. I think it's confusing because she's leaving open ends. Like,
it's a mystery.
No, it's on purpose. I completely understand, but at the same time, too, I shouldn't have to reread a book to understand it.
Oh, I disagree.
The understanding is that it's a mystery. That is what you need to
It
understand.
is not a mystery. We know.
It is a mystery.
No, I think
it's not straightforward truth.
The only mysterious part about it right now is Tirza, because I still don't get that.
I think we're not supposed to know exactly how Spear was destroyed. I don't think we're supposed to have the full picture.
We're never going to have it either.
But I think it's intentional.
Purpose,
yeah, I think that's on purpose.
It's shrouded in secrecy. It's shrouded in misinformation. You know what I mean? They're not worthy of.
That's not true.
Be hidden. Why not?
Because how else would they have 3 different versions of it?
Because it's stories, like, you know what I mean?
No, because you go in and you find evidence.
Wait, I missed the beginning part of that.
There is no evidence in, like, blackened earth. There's nothing there. There's charred.
Really? Talk to the archaeologist who went into Roanoke.
What archaeologist is going to go in the middle of the war to, like, find out what happened to Spear? No one's interested.
It was not in the middle of the war. It's been 100 years since then.
No,
it's not.
It's been 20 years.
Okay, it's since 20 years. You don't think that people didn't go in and see what the fuck happened?
They didn't care.
They were trying to keep it a secret.
Were less than
secret is different than they didn't care.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's not that they didn't care. I think the people didn't care.
They dehumanized the Spear. Therefore, therefore they wouldn't care about their fate as much. So they wouldn't be invested in finding out the truth. So whatever they would feed, they would be satisfied and happy with it because they weren't seen as fully human.
Yeah, I agree.
I've lost track in fighting with you and reading. Straight up harem.
Yes. I'm just sorry I keep wildly highlighting comments.
It's good. It's actually really good. Yeah.
Okay. It does say that the Red Emperor introduced opium to cripple the population, allegedly. Which so I think that it's
British
like
corollary.
Yeah.
It's bark, I think they used before, and then they were introduced to opium.
Yes. Okay. I do remember that. And I saw a couple people saying that earlier. So yeah.
How much does hearsay color everything that happens in the world, which is also true.
Yeah. Poppy seed are not as powerful. Yes. Okay.
Very true. Again, and I also think they were used to even weaker than that because they were used to. They were used to like a wood bark and then poppy seeds and then opium nuggets. So they were used to like a much more distilled opium. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also what Jiang warns Rin about when she's in his garden, not going too hard with the drug choices. Yeah, because and I think that's made a point in the book where like all shamans are eventually useless.
Yeah.
And they all become
Jiang,
addicted.
who was so careful, I think. I'm not sure if careful is the right word, but he was wary. There we go. That is the right word. He was really fucking wary, and even he ended up under the mountain.
Did he? That was self-imposed.
Yeah.
Because he knew. Because he knew he was dangerous. Like he had the foresight.
when he summoned I don't know what it's called,
That's still self-imposition. We already know he's overly cautious. Doesn't mean that he actually was that.
but he did lose
He was
it. He did
actually
actually
lucid.
lose it.
He was lucid compared to
I know, but in the battle, he actually did lose it and did something that he shouldn't have, which is why he, in his foresight, knew it was his time.
Yeah,
and no, that's not the definition that they're giving for going there. The definition is that he loses his mind. He was the most lucid person that they talked to in that mountain.
I don't think
he knew his if he knows his actions, if he knows what he's doing legally in any country. He's
not how China works.
Not even just legally, but like he was aware of the choices that he made.
But the thing is, as soon as they become too high of a liability, too dangerous, that's the time. It does not
doesn't mean he was too high of a liability, because
he was as soon as he summoned them.
Over 100 years old.
Well, let's talk about Jiang in general. Like, what are your thoughts about him as a character? Like, was it cowardly for him to seal himself in the tomb and not help more while Mugen was invading?
I don't think it was cowardly. I think he knew. He was in the spirit world. He knew what was going on. He knew the trajectory. And I don't think he had anything to add to that. He had warned Rin. He had offered her multiple fucking chances.
Yeah.
And he exactly like you're saying, Becca, he knew he was a liability, so he put himself away. He had nothing more to offer but harm.
But having self-awareness is the definition of not being crazy.
I don't think it is. I disagree. You can be fucking crazy as fuck and think and know you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But he was so self-aware, and he's putting himself away so that way he doesn't cause destruction of others.
Because he knew he had the potential and the
potential doesn't mean that you end up that way.
But he proved it. What he did, he should not have done in the battle.
I don't see
in
him
that battle. He harmed people and he released monsters out into the world that he shouldn't have released.
What monsters? There's no proof.
There was
the face eater.
Yeah, the face eater was due to him releasing it in the battle.
That could be some other natural disaster.
No, it wasn't. It was
specified that it was him. I think Jiang.
Just because she says something in this limited third-person narrative doesn't mean it's real.
I actually think so. It was very clear that things that he couldn't control were coming out of the shadows. He could not control. He knew he crossed the line.
He never said that.
She did.
Chime, yeah.
Yes.
No, he did say that. And I think Jiang, he says multiple times in the book, like, yes, I am cowardly. I am scared. I am scared, and that's why I'm putting myself away. Yeah.
Yeah. He's self-aware of his danger.
Being overprotective.
I don't think the others are.
Being
overprotective because
he's being overprotective.
Because there's a real danger.
He has the self-awareness to know that he was inflicting this upon himself to go into hiding, basically.
It's not hiding, it's torture. He was literally locking himself up.
He made an ethical choice. Ethical choices means that he was not going crazy.
I don't think he was going.
Look, my thing is, he stepped over a boundary. He knew as soon as he crossed that boundary that he was a liability.
That a personal line in the sand is not a reason to be crazy.
A personal line of sand that affects people and goes around like changing.
So does fucking Rin, but it could have been a fucking volcano.
I don't think he was crazy. Now I'm reading some of these comments. I don't think he was crazy.
He was lucid as fuck. He was aware as fuck. He's the opposite of crazy, but that still didn't mean he wasn't dangerous.
He is basically the corollary of a gun. There's the difference between putting it in a person who you think is a good guy versus a bad guy.
Long term,
the way he views himself is being a gun, and he's opting to take himself out of the equation.
Why is that bad?
To me is a lucid fucking person.
But that doesn't mean he's still not a gun with the capability of killing.
Doesn't matter. A gun not being used is no threat to anybody.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If someone can get their hands on the gun, they die.
Not true.
We agree to disagree.
Yeah, I want to read this
A
comment.
gun is only as evil as its wielder.
Oh, I
Or-
disagree.
Or
I
a person who doesn't know
completely-
how to use it, or a
I
person who can't.
completely fucking disagree.
But there's no. It's not like he doesn't have his own safety. It's not like he doesn't have his own what's it called? Like he is the only one who could wield his own potential.
No, he's not. He's controlled by the gods.
The
He's
Empress.
risk-
What
The
God?
Empress.
No,
the
he
risk
was
is
control.
too
not.
big. The risk is actually
He
too
was
fucking
not.
big. He knew long term.
The
I
Empress
100%
didn't ask him
agree.
to do it.
Wait, what are we arguing about now again?
No, we're still talking about Zhang.
Yeah, but like, what's the? I want to hear the two sides because
My side is that he was aware of his danger and he was dangerous enough to be locked away. What he did
okay.
was wise. If he didn't lock himself away,
That's not what we're
he
arguing.
crossed the line. That's what I'm arguing
But
about.
that's what I'm
We're
confused about. You guys sound like you're arguing about the same thing.
We're
Okay,
arguing,
let's, guys,
we
let's
are
move
arguing
on.
over the same thing. But the argument is that if he was, the argument was he crazy?
Oh, that's not my argument. I don't think he's crazy.
That's
Yeah, I
that was
don't
the
think he's
original
crazy.
argument.
Me
I
and
don't think-
Sarah always end up arguing over dumbass things that we
No,
just
That's what I'm
finished.
like.
I'm still gonna die on that hill.
He doesn't trust his god. Yeah, he
Who
doesn't
is
trust
his
the god.
God?
taking
No,
over
he's
the
a
shaman.
gatekeeper, isn't he?
But the thing is, I don't think his God should be trusted.
Wait, why are we echoing?
We're not arguing.
Oh,
I don't
no,
think.
echoing.
Okay, good. I thought it
We're
was
arguing.
no echoing.
I know, but she
Oh.
said arguing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh
She
no,
said,
no, I
"You're not
was.
arguing. I was like, what the fuck are you talking
What?
about?
There is echo.
There is
Why-
echo. That's what I meant,
Why
not
there's
argue.
echo?
I don't hear.
I think it went away. Okay.
Oh, it went
Anyway, so yeah, he doesn't trust his own god. So I want to know more about. I hope he comes back in book 2.
Same. I
Um,
don't think he will.
He is,
No,
isn't
no.
he? Based off a real person?
Yes, he is based off a real person, and I don't remember the name, but she
Um,
talks about it in the interview. He is based on a real person, a shaman, a
Yeah.
spiritual leader in a community in China. If he let himself go, the god would take over him. That would be a bigger danger. He just
Yeah,
wanted to
He still
avoid
actively
this.
made a choice. Like the difference between
Yeah.
and that's my point is he actively is still making choices. Therefore, he is not crazy.
I never thought he was crazy. I thought he lost control enough to know that he had
No,
to
he
lock
made that
himself
choice.
away.
He lost control too, and she's not crazy.
Rin?
Rin is out of
Mhm.
control. Girl,
Or out of control
I
is not
disagree.
crazy. Out of control. is
Rin-
not crazy.
Rin never had
I'm sorry.
control.
I think genocide constitutes as crazy.
It is not genocide if it's a volcano.
It still is because
so that's yeah. We can get to that.
We did talk about it.
But I feel like it wasn't totally fleshed out. Like when I want to talk about the end of the book,
It is
we'll
a
come back to
volcano.
it. It is a volcano, but like, okay, we can ask.
she
What do you think
controlled
was
the power
his
of the god through the volcano.
What do you
That's
think?
what
I
is
think.
missing his memories.
Himself. So that's my other thing.
Which him? Are we
Oh, I
talking
think it was
Jiang.
just-
Jiang. The
Zhang?
gatekeeper. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's
I
what
think
I'm
that was part of his kooky personality. I think I'm not sure if he's
No, I think that's
choosing
I
not
think
to
that's-
talk about it or actually forgetting.
yeah.
Because he also loads of times just skirted over a question he didn't like. So I'm not sure if he forgot or just conveniently didn't want to talk about it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You have a theory? Because like I feel like that was so pointed that you probably will have an answer.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think well until Ellen types. Wait, you were asking Ellen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was asking her.
Okay. I think the
Um,
Empress, I want to hear more about the trifecta.
The Ascended.
Yes.
How did they
I-
break apart?
I don't know.
Why is the gatekeeper not still with the Viperess? How
Oh,
did
because he got locked away.
Because the other guy died.
he die? Did the Empress kill
That's-
him?
No, I'm
I think the Empress is quite obviously staging a takeover. That's
Yes.
what I got from it. Yeah.
The Empress is she's also, I think, based on loosely somebody. I might be making that up just because I think
Yeah, you're
everybody's
making that
based on
up.
someone. No, I'm pretty sure
There's
she's
no-
based on someone.
I can't think of a woman in
It doesn't mean they couldn't
Chinese
have changed
context.
genders.
What do you mean you can't think
That's
of a
true.
woman in historical Chinese context?
There's no like in my historical knowledge, and I hope Lean's on here to tell us.
Oh yeah, Lean. This would be perfect for you because you have all the knowledge.
And we're just talking about butchering names. I know I'm always butchering hers. But she would probably know who it's based off of.
There were actually many women emperors in China, so it's not.
Yeah, there are lots of women empresses
in modern history. I can't think of a single female.
Not in modern history.
It's basically not implausible. That's what she's saying. I don't know if it is based off on something, but it could well be because there were women players in politics, of course, just in different ways, probably. But yeah.
So with the suppressing memories? Oh, that's a good link. I did not think about.
What?
Oh, that was a good one. So remember we were telling her to come. We were asking her about her. Like, because there was a very pointed question, like we needed an answer. She said the question was, "What do you think was suppressing his memories, himself or the Empress, or some other thing?" I can't remember if this was mentioned in the book. And she's talking about how the Empress has control over him. She has like that hypnosis thing. Like, remember, she couldn't. Rain couldn't remember anything from that parade because she's suspended.
It's not that she couldn't remember; is that the Empress like took such a focus that was all she could remember. You know what I mean? It's more like she blocked it out with herself.
She has a special power, fantasy power that is like there's no other way to explain it, like a volcano, right?
Well,
Snake.
The scene with Tyr when she kills him. You get that whole trippy ass scene where he's like looking into her eyes,
which was supposed to be him, like another verification of like what happened with the parade.
Yeah, I think that the Viperess, the Empress, I need to know more. How did the Emperor or the warrior, the other person in the trifecta, die? What does she have to do with it? Why is she lying? What are her motivations for selling out Rin and Alton? Why is she aligning herself with Mugen?
Also, why isn't she powerful enough to defeat him? Because for me, she's written as like such this overwhelming, powerful character. Why isn't she able to keep away the Mugen? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, surely she has something up her sleeve.
Exactly.
Like, it confused me that like she was such a weak player in the war.
She's not weak.
No. Like a weak.
She's gonna be
mover. I think just in the Poppy world, obviously she has a bigger role to play, but in this war specifically, it didn't seem like she took such a big role. She seemed like a very small role.
She's a puppet master.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is she up to?
That's what I want to know. That's
more of like the representing the dynasty that the Nationalist Republic the Nationalists with Sun Yat-sen.
You lost me.
So the in my quick review again of Chinese history, what happens is this guy named Sun Yat-sen, who is basically considered one of the founding fathers, or like one of the most revered, if I remember correctly, like players. But like what he did. Nobody quote me on this, but what happened was eventually the Qing dynasty like went out in like the 1900s or the 1800s or whatever. And so then Sun Yat-sen came in, and he was the person who was like basically running the country. He was the Nationalist Party who eventually went over to Taiwan.
So maybe that's who she's based on?
I'm wondering if not necessarily Sun Yat-sen, because Sun Yat-sen dies before, I think, the Second World War. I think that she's kind of like, I think what's potentially going to happen is it's going to be these three different things happening in the because if are we going to go into that quote, or is that too much of a spoiler?
A spoiler for what?
Mao's
quote.
Mao.
Oh no, that's not a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler.
Okay, so if Rin is a representation of Mao Zedong, who is the literal founder of the Communist Party of China.
I can. Oh wait, I've deleted that quote because I'm a.
Oops.
We had a really good quote from R.F. Kuang about Rin as a character and how she's linked.
Basically, she was interested in not just saying psychopathy, like not just saying like he's crazy or he's a psychopath. What actually makes a dictator? You know what I mean? How does he actually come to that? No. That's what she's saying. She's like, I don't want to go down the psychopath route. I want to see how she actually becomes a dictator. And she was interested in that because at that time she was reading loads of biographies, loads of stuff about Mao Zedong. So that's how that started.
But my point is that then that's when the conflicting ideologies happen.
What conflicting
there's
ideologies?
The Qing dynasty dying out. There is some kinds of revolutions. Then there's the
Civil War.
Well, the Civil War comes later, and that's book 2, which you kind of, if you play it again, YA fantasy trope, Civil War in books 2 and 3.
I think it's a real world trope.
No, but the thing is, that's exactly
but that's a trope
She's
of YA
following
fantasy.
World events.
But I think
book 2 and 3 are the Civil War.
I know, but she's actually following world events. You know what I mean? That's not very tropey.
I don't know if it's specifically a YA trope because you see it in, it is a trope definitely because you see it, but it's something that happens in real life because it happens in adult books too. And
it doesn't have to be a Civil War for it to be I'm saying that usually in YA, it is a Civil War versus a war between countries. Because it usually exists in only one.
I'm trying to think. I don't have a good repertoire with YA books that I like enough to be able to be oh yeah.
Normally it's a war between two countries, or an outside country, and then the country the MC's from. I don't see a lot of Civil War-ish books.
I see it in Hunger Games. I see it in Delirium. You could argue Divergent. You could.
I don't remember much about those books. No, I do remember about the Hunger Games, but when does the Civil War come in the Hunger Games? Well, I guess it always is a Civil War.
Book 2.
I guess it is a Civil War, but it's a Civil War
the whole time.
But those kinds of books are more real world based. Obviously not, but a
Hunger
bit more
Games.
You know what I mean? It's still a bit more historical based. Not exactly fucking Hunger Games.
Are influenced.
But heavily influenced. That's what I'm trying to say. More influenced by real world politics. That's what I'm actually trying to say. You know what I mean? Well, this book is also more heavily influenced by real world politics. You see that in the Hunger Games.
This is more heavily influenced by real world history.
And politics. That's history.
Yeah.
Yes, but for Hunger Games, you can make the same association.
Of course, but I'm saying the basis.
It didn't happen.
It's the influence. Obviously. But no dragon obviously happened. That's what I'm saying. The influences are more heavy in the Hunger Games with politics, as well as this one.
Either way, I'm going to disagree with you and continue on.
Sorry.
So we have the Qing dynasty. We got Sun Yat-sen. We've got Chiang Kai-shek, who is his successor, and at the same time Mao Zedong. And so Mao Zedong comes in, and they both are fighting, and that's kind of the Civil War. But what happens is that the damn thing was real in this book. And that's what's going to cause a huge famine and cause all this Civil War, which is what was predicted in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, that foreshadowing though was
so spot
pretty
on.
fucking dope. I really appreciated that moment.
It was cool. Spot on with Rin's character, her actual character popping out. It was spot on with the history. It was
it was all really cool because they explained it in the beginning when it happened at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really good shadowing
because of how much time they spent, but I didn't really care that much at the time. Still didn't care at the end, but anyways.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. We definitely have a lot of. I personally have a lot of things that I want to be fleshed out in book 2. I have a lot of predictions on what I think is.
So why don't you come up with some predictions? Because we're about an hour out.
Yeah, so
nobody wants to listen to us anymore.
I guess the last thing that we'll talk about, well, I still want to touch again on Sarah on this last question. Who made the right decision, Tirza or Rin, in regards to
I
using the
told
Phoenix
you
power?
every time. I don't know who Tirza is. I don't understand.
Tirza is the one that refused the Phoenix God.
She's the one who let.
Were you the one? Wasn't it Crown of Gilded Bones? Who was the one? Who was the character that said, "Doing nothing is still doing nothing"?
But no, because she literally died by refusing him. That was like
She still did nothing. That's my point.
There's not nothing. Saying no is not nothing.
Saying no and dying still doesn't change the outcome of the story. If you are within power and have a story and have the power to go forward and to change it, you by definition, not taking a stance, do nothing.
She did take a stance. The whole
She
Yeah,
took a
she
stance
did.
and nothing happened because of it.
No, everything happened because of it.
Whoa, Sarah, what you?
What, are we talking about Tirza?
Yes.
She did nothing, and then Nikon subjugated and colonized Spear, got them addicted to drugs.
So you're telling me the
She
idea is
refused to save Spear, to save the world. That is a very conscious choice to say no. It was not like she did nothing. She literally suffered the wrath of the god and gave up Spear so that the world would be saved. Like that's a
doing nothing.
Choice.
Doing nothing does not.
Okay, so hold on.
Can passive. She wasn't passive.
Explain to me the story of Tirza because I still don't understand it.
So Tirza she was the ruler of Spear.
Yep.
When Nikon was trying to colonize Spear, she could have called on the Phoenix and
saved it.
And saved Spear. But instead she said, I realize that if I call on the Phoenix, it will, ripple effect and maybe destroy the world. So therefore I'm going to sacrifice Spear. What?
Because the Phoenix god said the price for sacrificing Seer was the world. So it was very like he explained the price to Rin. There's a price for saving Spear, and that is in saying no to the rest of the world.
She
chose not to do that.
She didn't do
Sarah,
nothing.
how did she do nothing?
No, I think
choosing not to do anything to help your people. So that way they continue to thrive and survive is doing nothing.
That's literally
continue to survive and thrive.
The rest of the world. Like she
had
no choice. Rocking a hard place, Sarah.
She had a choice between saving her people or saving the world.
She chose to save the world. Therefore, she's
a fucking leader. It doesn't matter what happens to the rest of the world.
No, but I think there's doing nothing is choosing the side of the oppressor.
No, she literally did that by not accepting the power.
Yeah.
But she did nothing.
But she condemned her people.
Yeah.
Just because she made a choice doesn't mean that choice wasn't nothing.
You're completely missing the point. She didn't do nothing. She said no. She chose the greater good. She did do something.
Holly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Holly. Saying no is a choice.
That's doing something.
I'm not saying, but that choice meant that she was doing nothing.
No, it didn't. It literally didn't. Her choice meant that the world was saved and that she sacrificed
hypothetically
to save the world. That's the price for saving Spear was the world. She chose to
hold on. This community was very insular, right? Can we agree on that?
Spear.
Yes, it was insular.
At this time, yeah.
How did she know or care about any of the other players in this?
Because
the whole entire world of innocence.
How the fuck would she know if she's so fucking isolated?
She's not that isolated.
She's connected to a god.
She actually doesn't know other people exist.
Could be another fucking volcano.
Because she was doing nothing. Yeah, that's an action. Yeah. No, she was actively choosing to deny.
Doing nothing is still an action. She took action.
Sarah,
but
she said no.
In spite of fantasy.
Her taking it. I'm not denying that she said no, but her no was still the action of nothing.
I think we're arguing about semantics. To me, she didn't do nothing. She committed suicide. Like
Yeah.
she literally
Sacrifice.
self-immolated. Like
What
she
point are you
fucking
trying to even
blew
make?
herself up.
And
Me
not
or
only
the rest
that
of them?
is-
Because I'm saying she did nothing, even if she took a choice. The choice of nothing is still nothing.
Sacrificing
But
your
she
whole
didn't
entire
choose, like-
people and
She didn't sacrifice
allow
for her people.
she sacrificed her people. That's what I'm saying.
She
Not for her
sacrificed her
people.
people.
Why
She
would she
sacrificed
her
her
Because
to save
she
the rest of the goddamn world, Sarah.
she knew
Like
that
the
if she
entire
Care
world.
about the rest of the world.
she
was the
did though.
price.
That's yeah.
As an isolated community, why would I fucking care about the rest of the world?
Because
That's
she's a
I am
good
the
person.
leader
person.
and the representative of my people.
Yeah. But that's what makes her such an interesting and complex character is that she did have the foresight
Really,
to
because
be
I
like,
barely understood her because like she like her stories never made sense.
I mean, they made sense to me. I don't know.
It made complete fucking sense to me.
And
I
it was
don't
really
get-
for me, again, you obviously free to disagree.
I get
and have
it,
different
yeah.
opinions. Yeah. But I think her story was so I want to see a mini story of her. Like I want to see a novella.
No,
of
I
Tirza.
don't because she was boring as fuck.
I don't know. I disagree, but that's okay. You know, that's why we have these conversations. She chose no because otherwise she feared Spear and the rest of the. So yeah, that
She's the follower of a vengeful god. You don't
Yeah.
want to, yeah.
You just told me she didn't actively choose that.
she was like
No, you just told me she actively chose not to be a part of that guy.
well, she was always a part of that god before.
Yeah,
That
she was
god
the
was
leader.
her god. That was the god of her people. She regularly communed with that
Yeah,
god.
She was the
And then
leader,
at
yeah.
that moment, when that God gave her the choice, I will give you this power that can literally wipe
Save your
out your
people.
enemy.
Yeah.
But the price is that it can also affect the rest of the world.
The
She
price
said
is that it
no.
condemns the
Yeah.
rest of the world. She
Yeah.
chose not to condemn the rest of the world, sacrificing her people. That's a big ass sacrifice. That is a choice. You know what I mean? You don't like lead all your people and yourself to die for like
And I
no
think that's
action.
a bad leader.
Okay, but that's still a choice.
That's a choice, but the choice was to do nothing.
Nothing.
We don't have to keep arguing about this. Like we obviously
It's
have different
nothing.
opinions. That's fine.
Okay, it's okay. We agree to
Yeah.
disagree. I really disagree. Just
I
to
think-
state that.
I need to see more of her story too, like
No.
Tirza, because
Too
she.
boring.
Well, I don't. So you're not going to read the rest
The
of the books,
whole
right?
truth is not
Don't plan
out
on it.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
the whole
Sarah,
truth is
you'll
not
be
there.
so good just to shit on it. It'll be really good to have you.
I know. What are we going to talk about?
We're just gonna agree, Sarah.
I
we
told
need
you I wanted to DNF this like 60% in.
I have
Because
ideas,
it was
by the
the
way.
same shit
Afterwards, we need
over
to
and
talk.
over again, and it was just data dump, data dump, data dump.
But
And
it will
then
be a
you-
break. You're gonna have a break before the next one, so maybe you could, you know.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I have ideas. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys about it later.
Yeah. But the other thing, again, I don't like, again, because I feel, well, Sarah, you can say, like, no, I don't want to talk about this anymore. But I want to talk about more why you think Rin made the right decision in. Did you say that you think Rin made the right decision in, like, blowing up Mugen or, like,
Oh,
creating
yeah.
volcano? Go into that, because that I find super interesting, and I want to talk about that.
Oh,
'cause
hold on. Can you refresh my memory before we decided? Oh, yeah, shut down, Sarah.
Yeah. So we were talking about earlier, like, what was the question? There was a question specifically that. Give me a second. I'm not going to be able to find it, but anyway, I was basically asking, like, did Rin make the right decision based on her past trauma? Was it was it a good decision to commit genocide, basically, or hypothetically?
Yeah, the only reason that I have is because that's literally her personality. She always chose herself. She always chose herself, which was all, you know me.
That was survival,
When characters do that, right? Like,
Mhm.
choose yourself and figure out the consequences later, or like whatever it is, and like because this action is going to take you to like your happiness.
Yeah.
Right. So
For sure.
Rin did that by
Yeah.
committing genocide, quote unquote, because I still think it's a volcano.
Yeah. You still think it's up in the air, which again is
I
interesting.
think it's a volcano.
I think
It is
it's
a
the
volcano.
god through a volcano. I
Yeah,
don't
it
think the
is-
volcano would have erupted without the god. That's what I think.
I think
Yeah.
the God thing is still a corollary, and I think that's probably why I heavily believe that Tirza didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, because that's an interesting. I mean, I didn't think about that until we started to talk about it. So you think that Rin did make the right decision because, according to her character, that would have been
Do
her
whatever's
character would have
fucking
done.
right for you. It's if that's the most American thing I could think of saying.
Yeah. There was no good decision there. It was genocide for them or genocide for her people. She had already
Yeah.
seen Mugen commit genocide. Yeah, that's the thing. Was there a right decision? No.
In war, you can't really make a right
That's
decision
the
because
point,
whatever
yeah.
decision you make kills people.
Yeah.
You know what I
Is it
mean?
the decision for me or is it for the decision for them?
Yeah, no, I love that. That's why I wanted to touch on that again because I thought that was a really good point that you had me thinking about before. Like, I mean, I don't think she should have committed genocide, but I can see.
This is the
Ooh,
intelligent-
ancestors.
Ooh.
Yeah. Her ancestors really informed that decision as well because she had that little trippy moment where she goes back and talks to them.
Yeah.
Well, besides
she
Also,
the daughter of
guys, do we
Tirza?
think she's a spear?
Is she a
Because
daughter
I'm
of
still-
Tirza?
no,
still a
Tears is
bit-
way in the past.
But yeah, but like a granddaughter in the sense.
Oh, she
Well,
said
that's a
daughter
question.
of mine. Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's some
American individualism. I
the
call it.
way. Yeah, I think there's the way it was written. There's a bit of like a few question marks about if she's really a spear. I think she
There we
made
go.
it quite clear. She laid the groundwork of it being like not 100% sure she's fully a spear. You know.
Well, I think
Yeah, I'm
she's
interested.
half. I think she's
something like
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's another question. I had that in the beginning of the slide. Is that is Rin spear even to begin with? Also, wait, what was my other question?
Does it matter?
Does it matter? Yeah. It doesn't matter. She identifies
doesn't
as
matter.
clearly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I had another question about Alton, but now I forgot. How did Alton? How is he the only surviving spear? How did he get out of that? Who took care
Because
of him?
he was in the facility.
He was in the
He was
facility.
in the
Right.
facility.
How did no one else survive from the facility? Who took care of him as a child, addicted to drugs?
Oh,
when
it
he
was.
escaped?
I think it was June, like the one of
How did
the
he find him?
professors.
Ugh.
Well, he was liberated
that's a good
because the Japanese got like taken out, right?
Yeah.
They got completely taken out of China, and that's when the Chinese came and saw the research facilities that were
Okay.
overtaken by the Japanese. That's what I think. And then he was obviously the last remaining Spearly, so he was valuable. Instead of killing him, they took him.
They trained him, and okay,
Yeah.
that was a question that I was just like thinking about. I wasn't.
Yeah, I
100%
get what
sure.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I had some questions. I was like, how is Alton the only surviving one? What happened to him after he got out of that research facility? I thought there was maybe something missing there, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Although I'm surprised no more people than Alison survived in the research facility.
That's what I'm
my
saying.
only question.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised by that.
Why?
The research facility was like, Holocaust, Mengelev, like
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what
that's
is
my
it?
point is I don't remember.
Unit 731.
Yeah.
I
that's
didn't.
what
I didn't read enough about the Chinese and Japanese versions of this, but
It's
like
basically
knowing
Unit 731 that committed
Yeah, but
horrendous, yeah.
all of that, but they weren't the ones who were experimenting. Those are the scientists.
No, Unit 731 was the scientist that experimented on people.
I thought
Yeah.
they were. I thought in Wikipedia they said that they were the ones who were.
They were
the-
soldiers, scientists, doctors. It's literally just like Mengelev.
Oh,
Like, they
they
were
just-
given
they were just-
free reign.
It sounds like a conglomeration of all of them, and they. I'm willing to bet the scientists were not the ones raiding
rating.
the city.
Oh yeah, no, but they were
Yeah.
the ones taking the test subjects from the
Yeah,
raids.
so like there's a division of like Unit 731 probably. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Anyway.
It's a big unit, like.
But my
you know.
point is that they usually there's a separation of those, and I know from the Holocaust, World War II perspective in Germany, they would actually run all these experiments on them, and it's not any surprise because they were looking to see how much you could withstand as a human being, like how
That's
long.
what they did it. Yeah.
And
So
that's what
they did in Unit
So it's no
731.
surprise that nobody survived besides him. And he was a
it was
child.
just
And if you're
brutal.
and if you're a child, there is the potential to unlock that. Not unlock, but to adapt.
Yeah. I think they probably euthanized all of the other test subjects in Unit.
True. Maybe he was the youngest, like one they could use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They saw that they can mold him. All right. I want to highlight some.
Yeah.
The Empress has been working with Mugen. Maybe she took him out there to put. Yeah, I agree. I think the Empress has always been working with Mugen.
Ooh, I don't.
That was my theory.
Know.
She seems bad. And I don't remember the quote and I'm not going to find it, but from the very beginning, something about her wasn't right. And it's not the black eyes. It's not the Ascended. She's only half spear.
The thing is, every time I read about those black eyes, I was just like, is she a vampire?
Yeah.
Sorry for anybody who hasn't read From Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
Out of context. Also has some weirdness. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah,
yes.
you're totally right.
Yeah. But she also was a shop girl, and he probably was fighting outside a lot.
But she did
No,
work
but they were
outside.
also brown. Yeah, they were also just brown. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was specified that he was like way darker than her.
Yeah.
So I think she is half spear. I really want to know. I wonder if we're going to find out more about her family.
I don't know.
I think we will because she's going back south, back to her homeland.
I think that there's also the possibility that this island nation, because they did mention this, they had all the 64 pedestals basically on the island. So they would have just only in recent history focused on this phoenix. Who's to say that one god would have focused on, like one set of people would focus on this one god? Like Rin could not be Spear Lee's at all. Like she could be anything. It's just that god saw the innate rage in her and decided that, yeah, let me go for that.
Well, that's
she's
the question.
Attracted to that.
Yeah, that's the question. Is she? But don't you think that? Why is the Phoenix attracted to her and no one else that has that rage?
No,
because I forgot what her name was. That woman was all the time being like daughter of mine, as in a descendant. As in descendant of mine, and she was able to connect to the descendants. And I don't think anyone who didn't have Spearly blood could do that.
I think still that they have the opportunity to be an equal opportunity God chooser.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I don't know, because it seems like Sarah. It seems to me that Spearleys are the only ones able to access the Phoenix because of the generational trauma, and they talk about that in the quote that I read you earlier when we were on the video chat together. That I'm not going to go and find right now.
Which is what I just kind of said.
Yeah, but does that mean
in recent history that they kind of did that because that was the only time they were not isolated?
Yeah. So I think that I want to see more of the Hinterlanders.
Same. I'm very curious about them.
I don't know, because aren't they the Mongols?
Yeah. Loosely based on the Mongols. Yeah. Which I find the Mongol Empire one of the most fascinating parts of history. Yeah. And they have shamans. They have mad shamans up there.
And the shamans, like the twins.
We never asked anybody for questions yet, so we should ask for questions.
We've been asking questions.
We know. Did anybody put questions in the
64 gods? No. How do all of the spear have the same god living in them? Are there multiple forms of each god? Are they just able to split and yeah, because the god is so fucking big and powerful that he can inhabit multiple people.
He can inhabit multiple people. Like there are way more than 64 gods.
Like he's a god. Like
no, that's not
fucking.
That's not what was said though. That's not what Zhang taught. Zhang taught because he was basically saying how there was polytheism in that every single little place had their own little gods, and apparently it might equal 64.
Yeah,
all were representations of 64 of them.
Yeah, I think that was like a loose number. I don't think like as
we should actually ask them if there's any questions they want to ask us.
Oh yeah, y'all.
That was more my point. Did anybody put them on Slido? Because we were terrible about asking or telling them this.
Yeah,
we are so narcissistic.
Put your questions in the chat for us because we like to talk.
Too much.
You see members of the hinterlands choosing their god, but the Spearleys worshipped the phoenix, so that god was the one they went for based on religious beliefs. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I got from it. They built their religion around a specific god, which I think in the countryside and everything, they do that too. Like they pick a god and that's their main god, you know what I mean?
Ooh, this is a good point. And the wind god in Phelan was super funny. So I think
thought that was really interesting.
I think once they're trapped in Kulukorik, I don't think that the god can go and choose another person.
Ooh, no, I didn't think of that. Because what's stopping the god then?
What's stopping? Like, why is it?
How could Rin do it at the same time? But probably Alton was.
Oh, I think it's because like that is the god that's coming so close to like fully overpowering the person. So if he went to another person, there'll be more. You know what I mean? He's not as close to the surface. So and so, you know.
Isn't that a god fallacy though? If the god has to fully inhabit that person first, because if they have to fully inhabit them, then they are stuck on Earth, and why would they want to fucking do that?
To kill people.
Yeah, I don't see
play with humans. But then they're going to be interred in a fucking mountain, not do anything.
I don't think they anticipate
I don't think that because even they're interned in the
then how
bodies,
do
but they can also
apply
to the spiritual world.
What?
Yeah.
Then how is there a constant supply of gods?
Oh, I don't think there's just 64 gods.
Yeah,
but that's my point. If that's the case, and we had this throughout like thousands of years of these shamanisms, and it helped everybody.
Yeah,
how and all of those people, because there's definitely we could agree on there are more people than gods. We would run out of gods.
But my thing is that the gods can inhabit multiple people, but the reason they're trapped there is they're so close to the surface that they're controlling the people more than the people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I hope you get me.
I know I get what you're trying to say. I think
we need to talk about though that one question because we
have all talked
about it.
This one.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rin destroying her womb? Oh, okay. So I think that was just another sacrifice she made, and I don't think it was that big a deal for her in that context. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when she realized that she might have been one of the last remaining spear, she was kind of like, what did I just do? But I think that this plays into something that R.F. Kuang talks about in her interviews, which is this book really explores sacrifice and trauma and like what you're willing to do. Yeah, sacrifice of power in order to get other power. And that was the moment when like Sarah was talking about, I know that you keep saying like not conceptually, like not some of the things are YA, but when I read that scene, I was like, this book does not fuck around.
Yeah,
I would clearly know YA.
What's up?
I would have read this in high school.
I know, but
that's fair. I would have too.
No. I can foresee like being taught this in high school.
Yeah,
I read Earth in high school.
Yeah, but high school people don't necessarily.
Great Expectations is not YA.
Yeah,
just because you read
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't touch Charles Dickens with a stick.
Neither would I. I don't even.
I read weird thing about me. I'm so into the classics. When I was younger, I read all of Charles Dickens by my own volition. My own volition. Like, can you
like The Scarlet Letter?
I read that. All of it.
That.
All of it. Not even for school. The thing is, the weird thing about me is that I selected.
No, I know. That's what I'm asking. Is like you read Scarlet Letter on your own volition. There's not much to the Scarlet Letter than what's already said about it in.
Just watch Easy
I was a weird ass kid that was into like all the classical books. You know,
Amanda, why?
What? Who told you were?
Yes.
But wait, where did that question go? Yeah.
I think to me that was more of a pointed question about
sorry,
racism than it was about anything else, because that was,
of course it was very colorism, but I also think to Rin that was just another sacrifice, and if she wanted power, she had to sacrifice anything. Like there was nothing off limits. The doctor agreeing to do that to her was quite obviously racism and colorism
and sexist,
but obviously,
obviously.
I don't think that it's sexist, because of
course it was.
took her at her word, which is not something that a lot of women experience when they say, "I don't want children."
Word because that he was stopping more people like her from reproducing. So that's
it was definitely
sexism that makes it racism.
It was sexist because he doesn't think that women are equal to men because they have a womb, and that's sexist. And he was like, I've been telling girls to do this. This part gets me really heated, so don't mind me. Like, he was like, I've been telling girls to do this all the time. Y'all are useless because you're women, because you have a womb, because you have a period. You can't compete with the men in the school. You're
lesser
weak.
Than. You're quite obviously, you're physiologically lesser than men.
Yeah.
Therefore, this weakness, I will help you with this womanly weakness.
Here, let me do what I've always dreamed of doing, destroying a woman's fertility.
That's why I think it's more racist than it is sexist, because
it's quite clearly sexist though, because as a girl,
Vanka,
if Vanka went in and said she wanted to sterilize herself, I promise you he would have gone through the same actions that we hear about nowadays, where women, he would.
No, because he's been trying to convince, when she goes back and tells the girls what she did, they were all like, oh yeah, he's been trying to get us to do that for years, or like for a year.
I don't remember them saying it at all.
He did. I have it highlighted in my book, because the other two girls, like Niang and Venko, were both like, he's been trying to convince me to do that for years, but I want to have kids. And the doctor didn't know she was Spear, but he did know that she was dark-skinned. And obviously it's racism and sexism.
I did like this. She didn't have pushback.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't love that part of the book. I just thought it was like really powerful and really set the tone. Amanda, you're on mute.
She didn't have pushback because it benefited the doctor for her to do that.
Yeah.
That's why she didn't have pushback.
There was no benefit to the doctor.
Of course there was. He was sterilizing a woman from reproducing more dark-skinned people.
But how is that a benefit to the doctor as a doctor?
Ask
because
sexist
he's fucking
men.
racist and sexist.
I can't get that. Gives them some kind of sick satisfaction.
Racism, not sexism.
No, it's
he
both.
Did not want to populate the earth with more dark-skinned people.
But as a woman, she was weak. Her womb was a weakness. That is based on her gender.
Chat, help us out.
I still agree with that, because I don't know about you. My periods will put me out for like they did for Rin.
Apparently, a male doctor just came out with a statement that period cramps are just as painful for some people as a heart attack.
Yeah, I actually saw that. I was like, of course.
Doctors don't benefit.
See? There's no benefit for them,
but they still
telling them no or getting a husband's signature. If a woman wants a hysterectomy, that's money in the bank because they're gonna get paid by insurance.
Yeah, but
that's today.
It depends. That's today. In that context, it benefited the doctor.
Corollary.
I don't think it was though.
Who's to say that's not a corollary for today?
I think it is. I think she was saying. I think she had a statement about it.
I think it's a corollary for today than it was an acknowledgement from then.
I don't know. I think
it's both. It can be both.
Yeah, I think that's something that's not really talked about a lot, is like sterilization of women throughout history.
That is to do with like the effects of war that aren't spoken about.
The doctor tells you can't do it because you need a husband's signature. That's all I've ever seen or heard or been told.
Of course, but this doctor didn't want her to have that,
which makes it racist
and sexist.
And we're not arguing that it's not racist. It's 100% influenced by the fact that she's dark-skinned, but it is also very sexist.
Is it sexist though if she can't do the procedure on her own?
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
So if she had the ability to figure out what she was doing on her own, does that make it sexist?
Yeah, because he literally
Just because he's the one
wanted
who
to
has the knowledge.
sterilize her. No. He wanted to sterilize her and other girls because he saw their womb as a weakness.
Yeah, that's
That is sexist.
Okay, I see your point now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything to do with her race. I think it was a product of overall attitude that academic success and success in war was
It
important.
was to do with her race, though.
Yeah, it definitely had to do with her race.
It was to do with her race. I think there would have been pushback, even if the girls said that. I think there would have been pushback if
it wouldn't have easily been agreed to and so easily allowed.
I will agree with
that. If she wasn't a dark-skinned woman, you know what I mean?
Becca, it's totally fine. Me too. I get
I'm
this.
Sorry,
this
Becca,
more than anything.
I don't mean to. I'm not conversing with you.
No, and we so appreciate everybody in the chat, but I get really heated about this specifically. Same. Like, so my emotions.
And I love the other opinions.
Yeah.
And we were all women and we all wanted to have autonomy over our bodies.
Yeah. And like in light of, I don't know what today has been deemed by the fucking incels of the internet.
Yeah, but I just wanted to be like, Becca, I'm so sorry. I don't mean, you've been the only one backing me up in all of this.
You and Becca should be friends.
We're fucking loopy at this point. We've been talking all day.
Fucking 9%ers. Like, I heard myself slur in this.
How much alcohol did my boyfriend put in this? We'll never know.
I had a lot.
How many licks does it take to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
Oh my God. All right. Do we have anything else that we want to touch on before? Like, if anybody else has any other questions, this is definitely the time to put them in the chat.
And thank you all for staying here and listening to us talk.
Honestly, it's been 2 hours.
I just downed that. Yes, thank you guys.
How did oh man?
I can't answer that.
How should the doctor have reacted not to be sexist in that case toward Rand? Yeah, I don't know. That's because I think he was 100% being sexist.
The thing is, his comment of being like, I've been trying to convince so many girls to do this. That was a sexist bit.
Yeah,
that was sexist. That was absolutely sexist. But I felt he was more motivated by racism than in that.
Yeah, it can be both. It
definitely can be both.
Intersectional.
I just felt in that in Rin's scenario was more racism than it was sexism.
Yeah,
but there would be no sexism, racism without her sex. He wouldn't
in that
instance.
Because Alton existed.
In that instance, what I'm saying, he wouldn't be able to touch her if she wasn't a woman. Do you understand? He only had that
because men don't.
Access.
Unfortunately, men don't have to deal with the same kind of issues that we do.
Well, no, they can. You can have, snip.
Yeah, but you can see that Alton was like, well, he dealt with some racism at the school. He was revered at Sign-Guard. He was the best.
But
of course
he dealt with racism. He was called like a monkey, stupid.
Yeah.
That was clearly racist.
He did still deal with racism.
I thought that was more directed about
the Spearleys that had colors like him.
Oh no, I remember. I'm remembering now what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Due to the Spearleys' dark skin, they were uncouth, barbaric. Blah, blah, blah. That was very related to the skin color.
And Becca's saying, as far as we know, he didn't try to sterilize Alton. We just don't know, and which goes back to like the same kind of debates we go on today as a society. Vasectomies are kind of are reversible, and why?
Yeah, they are.
Them?
Why isn't there male birth control?
Because the study was done and they had to
they complained.
Side effects.
Deal with the same fucking
they
side
were
effects.
Like, I'm feeling moody.
Well, I have a headache. Thing is like the why J&J vaccine just was paused, right?
Yeah, blood clots. Yeah.
Which was at a smaller rate than
if you're testing the whole fucking population, people are gonna like. I don't want to.
Yeah, and again,
that's a fun story too because like you know why we have 98.6?
Why?
Because it was only tested on white men.
Oh, I was just
talking, though. As we have grown as a society, actually, probably the average has gone down to less than that because we're not constantly battling afflictions in the same way and living out in that world. But
I don't know, man. This coronavirus is really kicking America's ass.
Yes and no.
Philly is a goddamn disaster right now, but that's a separate
The
conversation.
numbers are not to be believed, though.
Yeah.
I disagree.
No, the CDC will come in and say like, oh yeah, you have you hurt your knee, so therefore you have COVID.
But I think people are also underreported for COVID as well.
It's definitely underreported, but that doesn't mean that the hospitals and people should be like reporting. They're just trying to get money.
That's a separate conversation I don't want to dive into. I'd love a bonus chapter. I want so many novellas about so many of the characters.
Ooh, yeah,
we didn't really talk about the what is it, the Sika? The strange children?
No, it was Cheek. Hold on.
I looked it up. It's okay.
No, hold on. I think I have
it open. Talking about. The children, the unit, the Sika. Yeah, that unit.
Well, no, 13th, it's not Sika.
13th Division.
Hold on, I can tell you 1 second.
Sika. Yeah. I want to know more. We didn't really talk about them, but I don't have the brain power. Yeah. I want more. I want to know more about them. How did they form? True. Where did they come from? What are their backstories?
Meh.
How did they get their powers?
Meh.
The water guy, the monkey guy.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah.
I'm interested in the twins, especially the one that can the male twin. I'm very interested in him. Like, why, if he's so connected to the spirits, why did he choose to partner with Alton and then Ren? The thing is, the spirits for me are like such bad juju. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there doesn't seem to be a positive spirit that we've seen or come across so far. They seem to be like very stern consequences and war hungry. You know what I mean? Like the wind spirit or whatever spirit that acts as. I don't know. Or the three. Anyway, all I know is I haven't seen a good spirit so far.
Well, I don't think the spirits are necessarily good or bad.
That's the wrong wording.
Yeah, they're like ambivalent about the human world. They're flies in their, trap. Like they don't fucking care.
Exactly.
So they're just do.
The answer
beneficial to humans. Yeah.
The answer is no. But I will look forward to you guys telling me all about it.
I have a thought about this. We'll talk about it later. I have a thought to get Sarah into it still.
We're doing the 24-hour readathon. Obviously, you are.
I'm going to read something else.
You're going to read something else.
I'm going to probably read Zodiac Academy. Let's be real.
Yeah. Okay. Me and Amanda, I think I'm going to start it the night before just so I'm not like.
But I actually I need to talk to you guys, right?
Yeah.
So. If it's going to be, and I've been told recently that it's going to be that it's a really different concept in the story. And if you guys tell me it is, I will try. And I
have to start reading it. We need to get someone who's already read it because we want you to read it for the 24 hours.
Oh, no. Somebody else told me that who has already read it.
Oh, I think it was one of
the Ellens that we have on this server. It was recent. It was just today. But the 600 pages doesn't. Jordan,
that's what I mean.
That's why I need to start it the night before.
I think you should try it. If you don't like it, don't read it, but you should try it.
No, here's the thing that happened. I was just begging people to intrigue me to keep reading for the first one. So you guys can tell me, do you think you'll like it?
I can start reading it, Sarah, and I know your taste, and I can tell you if you like, you should carry on. Yeah? I liked it when we read it in tandem. We buddy read it, and it was so good because we were like sparing our thoughts together.
If we could have seen Rin, I really believe this. If we could have seen Rin without this school setting fully, without this God complex thing and the drugs that I didn't fully love, but like I understood, and I could have overlooked that. It was just over and over and over again. There was just so much backstory, and I can't get into that. And I think
I think maybe the second book has less backstory because we've kind of been situated in
I
the
disagree.
plot.
If it's going to civil war, that you got Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek, and you're going at odds. That's the Civil War.
No, but what I'm saying is you're already situated in the story, the characters. It's less info dump. I think it's going to be less info dump on you
I
because
will
obviously
disagree with you, and I will bet you
every
on that one.
first book is info dumping because you're setting the scene. You know what I mean?
But that doesn't mean that it had to be an info dump for 3 or 4 parts.
I think, but she liked the history and the background.
She's
that was
a
the main
historian.
draw of the
I
book,
love
and
history.
I really like
There's
that.
no denying that I don't love history. I just don't love it in that way.
Okay, fair enough. I'll read a bit more and then tell you if you should read it.
Yeah, I hear that the Dragon Republic is much more focused on plot. It's a lot more action packed. I mean, you don't have sign guards, so you don't have the academy setting.
So maybe you like it more.
Yeah, and you don't see Rin going back and forth. Like, should I call the Phoenix? Should I not call the Phoenix? Like, I think a couple of those things won't be
All
present.
right, here's what I'll tell you. Maybe what I'll do is I will listen to you guys if you guys come and tell me.
That's what I was. Yeah,
but what I'll probably do, because like in theory, this book should be my book.
Yeah, it's
all
action
the
packed.
historical fiction, all of the war, all the goriness, all the graphic stuff. I thrive in with that. But I will maybe during the readathon, I will try it out.
Okay. That's fair enough.
That's
fair enough. Also, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you could be in here just hearing our thoughts about it, even if you hadn't read it, because that would be cool. Us like telling you how we found the book.
Oh,
I was
hoping for everybody to spoil this book for me at some point. So if everybody wants to spoil the second book for me, like to motivate me to read it, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll try and read it beforehand to motivate.
I'm gonna start it.
No,
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan, don't say that.
I think, well, I mean, yeah, you don't have to read it if you don't want to. I don't understand why you don't like it, but that's just because I love it so much. But
I need you, Sarah, because you're contrasting opinion.
Me and Amanda just agree on everything.
Exactly. Me and Sadie was like, yes.
Why can't I just ride off into the sunset and watch Love Island Australia?
Not allowed. Not allowed.
We
Why
need
can't
you.
I do that?
We need you.
We need a foil.
This conversation has been made interesting because of your opinions.
It could have been really interesting without me.
No, it could have been, but it just
of course it can. But we love you. We love you.
Oh, look at that ego right there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to start it the night before because technically we didn't set it up to be a 24-hour readathon. I'm going to start at 6 p.m. the night before, and we'll see how it goes. And then we'll do like video chats the next day with everybody. But you don't have to read Dragon Republic if you don't want to, and that goes for everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to catch up on Zodiac Academy and get to Zodiac Academy 3 or 4 with me, I will totally do that readathon.
What is Zodiac Academy?
It's like a bully romance from what I got.
It's a bully romance, but like imagine
KU, by the way, KU, that's important to know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes and no. It's not the typical KU that I will normally like recommend. This is more of the guilty pleasure variety than the light and fun.
Okay.
Like basically, imagine a fantasy story that is somehow urban fantasy, but it incorporates all of the elements that you could think of in high fantasy, like dragons and every kind of werewolf and every kind of like there's Medusas and all of that, all of those kinds, and then put them together, and they're all their own orders. But then all of those things you can shift into all those things, but you also can choose whether you're earth, wind, fire, or water.
I'm gonna stick with the Poppy War. That sounds a little terrifying.
That sounds chaotic.
Yeah. It's not as chaotic as I'm telling it as, but that was the part that was fun about it. And then you got through the first book, and then the second book was like way more fun because everybody's pranking each other and they're bullying each other more. in a realistic way.
Oh my god, these covers though. What the fuck? No, I'll check it out.
Somebody wants to read this
I
book.
like I read Gilded Bones, so quite clearly I can read trash. Sorry. No
This
offense.
one- I will tell you, the second Zodiac Academy is better than Gilded Bones.
Yeah. If you
Becca.
if you didn't know my opinion on
What's
that
Wise Man's
book.
Fear?
This is the second book
Ooh,
to the
Becca,
Yeah.
yes.
Wait,
Name
is
of the
that
Wind
Name of the
book
Wind?
2. Name of the Wind book 2.
Guys, our book club has to do that at some point.
We will, and we will.
will.
We have to set up the June vote.
Ooh.
We have
Does
to set
anybody
up
have
the June vote.
recommendations for the June vote? Because
In June,
My first read, yes, I would die to read that for the first time again.
yeah.
First
Well,
read is epic.
in June, we're doing like a big series, so we have a couple
It's gonna
different
be one
choices.
of those, yeah.
Yeah, like big, epic, like 10-book series. We want to start
Fantasy,
and dive
yeah.
in to something like that. So we'll talk about that sometime this
More
week.
to
And
come. More to
Yeah,
come.
more to come. That vote will probably open up next weekend after the 24-hour.
So you guys in the live have the exclusive.
Yeah, have the exclusive.
what's the second book called? The Dragon Republic?
What's up?
Yeah, the Dragon.
Oh, yeah, the
Republic
second
is the
book,
second
yeah.
book. Yeah, look at the synopsis. See if it sparks your interest.
Oh no,
Anyway.
I was seeing if I could just get it off the library yep, I could borrow it.
Oh yes,
Yeah, just give it a try.
Sarah, just try it.
Try it. You'll like it.
Are you trying to get it? Is this opium?
Yes. That's how I felt with this book. I was like, this is getting to me.
Hey, Sarah, question. How come you could read Gilded Bones, but you can't force yourself through this?
I couldn't force myself to read Gilded Bones either. You know that.
Yeah, in her defense, she was like
I was
Bitching,
that book
kicking
too.
and screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was.
But why can't you
guys-
kick and scream this time?
No, I did. You just didn't see it because I was saving it so that way we didn't spoil all my stuff.
I really enjoyed reading it with you, though. That was really good. I think that was the first budgie read we've ever done together, wasn't it? I loved it.
Yeah, it was.
There's one thing you'll like about it. There's one thing.
Is it Jamie Fraser?
Oh my gosh. What?
I think that's Scotland thing. Outlander, there we go.
Yes, Scotland thing.
Anyway.
Okay, guys, I think time
I think
is
we're getting
up.
loopier and loopier.
Gotta
so
wrap
we
up.
gotta go.
We're
So
gonna
any-
rewatch this and be like,
Embarrass us
Yeah,
ourselves.
secondhand embarrassment, firsthand embarrassment. But again, thank you everybody for coming. Holy shit, you've been here for 2 hours. The chat has given me life.
Yes. Oh
Oh
my god. Just
thank you
calling
so
out
much.
certain people. Gotta call out Becca. Gotta call
Becca,
out Red Thistle. Gotta
Jordan,
call
Maddie,
Maddie. Oh my god,
Fucking
Becca
everyone.
especially.
Rochelle,
Becca.
Ellen.
Ellen. You guys.
Ellen and L,
Chef's
because
kiss.
we have too many L.
Oh,
versions.
yeah. Maddie,
Oh my gosh, yeah, 2 Ls.
Maddie,
Yep.
Holly Lambert
Holly.
as well.
Thank
You
you.
guys,
Just everybody.
rock stars. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and this will be saved and posted to hopefully both of the YouTubes. We had technical difficulties.
With the Bookish Tavern, unfortunately, but that should be sorted for the next live. So
Yeah. So again, we really appreciate you, and I personally need to go eat dinner. Starving. Yeah, so
peace out.
Bye.
Bye.